Alright guys, BLM here, back with another new live stream, and wow. Wow, yeah. I really can't believe what we just saw tonight. But yeah, so I am doing this kind of special stream here. It is the night of the BBCAN finale, BBCAN10. And it is already really late. It's almost midnight. I just finished working on the script for the finale, or for the review, and just the finale alone is super fucking long. But yeah, I can't believe it. I can't believe what we just saw. It worked out perfectly. Like, it's literally, like, the perfect outcome for the season to me. Like, it's insane. That, again, we talked about this last night. That, like, what if Kevin's able to flip over Josh and get Josh to pull off, like, a woo sort of move. It's like, it actually happened. Like, that's insane. Thank you, Storacle, for a 10-month resub. But yeah, I mean, I literally just wrote, finished writing the review. The review is long at this point. It is now, it's longer than my BB23 review, by like 1,000 words, which is ridiculous. It's probably going to end up being, what, like an hour and 45 minutes, somewhere in that range. So it's going to be long at this point, but, yeah, I'm like, there's just so much to talk about just from the finale. I mean, what an insane finale. Like, it really, like, plays out in the most, like, thrilling way the entire time. Especially because, like, also we got spoilers earlier today that said that Josh and Betty were the final two. So the fact that, like, Kevin wins part 1 of the HOH is hilarious. Like, that's incredible. That final part of the HOH where it goes, like, back and forth, where, like, Kevin gets the first question wrong. At that point, I was thinking, okay, it's over. Like, Kevin's done. Like, Josh isn't gonna get an answer wrong. Then Josh gets one wrong, and then it's like goes to the tiebreaker, and then Josh wins anyway. And I'm thinking, okay, it's over again. Like, okay, Josh maybe has won. I'm too honest, we don't know. It does actually maybe look like Betty could have won, based on how angry it did genuinely seem to be against Josh. But still, I mean, like, the fact that, like, he votes out Betty is insane. It's insane. And, like, I think at this point, and I wrote this in my review, I think this season is the best season of Big Brother there's ever been. Like, to me, it's like, I mean, because, again, I've been holding back on, like, the BBCAN 5 comparison,
there's no structure out there.
where, like, I think even, like, up until, like, the last few episodes, I've already, like, kind of accepted that it probably is better than BB10. But the BBCAN 5 one was a tough one to break, and I feel like this outcome passes it. Like, not just the fact that Kevin wins, and Kevin wins in the most satisfying way of him convincing Josh to take him to the end, but also, like, this downfall for Josh. And I think, like, this, essentially that, like, Kevin causes his downfall throughout the game. Like, despite the fact that, like, he picks up on what Kevin's doing towards the end, he still ends up falling for it. I think that's, like, incredible, like, arc for, like, the tragedy of Josh across this season. I think it's pretty hilarious too. But yeah, I mean, what an insane season. Like, this is an all-time great season of reality television. Again, it's for sure number 1 season BBCAN. At that point, I think it's the best season of Big Brother globally. If we're like, even talking about across, like, other shows, it's high. I mean, like, again, for me, Cagayan has, like, a personal, like, has, like, a special place in my heart, to where, like, I don't know if anything will pass Cagayan for me personally, but, like, I can definitely even see the argument there. I mean, this is, like, an insane season from beginning to end, where really, like, what the true, like, slowest week of the show was, what, week 1? That was, like, 2 episodes, and, like, we got all the gameplay of it, like, within 1 episode. Like, every other week has been very strong. Like, there have been, like, some, like, not as great weeks. Like, the Moose week was not as strong. And what's the other week? I was looking at my review.
Nothing that can't be worked out.
I think it's the Moose Week, and there's another week that's like kind of shorter, in terms of that section of the review. But still, I mean, really insane week. I mean, really insane season. To where I have the finale's probably going to be over 10 minutes of just talking about the finale. I talk about the Gino backdoor rounds, like not even the triple eviction part, like just the round of the Gino or the Gino like gummy bear, everything. Like that's 10.5 minutes of the review. The Cow HOH week is 10 minutes. Like the Cow backdoor is 7 minutes long. It's like this is gonna be a long review. Like there's a lot to talk about. Even actually week 9, the week that that Jace went home, that's 8 minutes. Like the final 5 round is 8 minutes long. So again, there's a lot to talk about from this week. A lot went on.
Wasn't my finest moment, so you admit it. If I could take it back, I would.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, also, there's a lot of, like, insane stats with Kevin. He is the first BBCAN winner to win with stats, to win with votes cast against him. He's first Big Brother winner across the world, or, like, social strategy Big Brother, to be nominated week 1 and end up winning the game. He's also the first he's the first winner since Dr. Will to win the game without winning a single HOH. Like those are insane stats. Like that is insane.
Like my niece, David's daughter. What? Damn it!
Like it really is. Like I genuinely can't believe that Kevin actually won. BBCAN10 review is Saturday. Hopefully, unless something goes wrong tomorrow. Again, that's why this stream's so late, is because I did start, or because I wanted to make sure the script was finished so I can record it right away tomorrow morning, wrap that up tomorrow, and actually I need to get the player ranking also done tomorrow, because I'm going to have a very busy, next, 5 days, pretty much up until Tuesday, 4 days, I guess, after that, but either way, so I'm going to have, like, almost no free time, so I need to get everything done pretty much tomorrow. So hopefully I can do that. We'll see. Okay, I'm behind on chat. I should probably read the highlighted ones. Betty's I'm voting for a person who actually played the game is humorous. And again, like it just shows like Betty's misread on Kevin. Really all of their misreads. Like really all of and really just everyone while they were there, right? Like outside of Marty, or thinking that Kevin was like a goat that wouldn't win it if he got to the end. Or like Marty's the only person that like immediately after he left the house was like, I think Kevin's played the best game and I think Kevin's gonna win. Like everyone else has been very low on Kevin, like immediately after they leave the house. Trying to go back in the chat to make sure I don't miss the highlighted ones at least. Does Kevin have the best jury speech in BBCAN? I mean, I think to me the speech from Kevin Martin is one that's I've always like held in high regard. I think this one is probably like it's a good one on paper. Like it's one that like he does the like go-to thing of talking, like mentioning each of the jury members, and like why they should vote for you, and like that's obviously really good. Obviously he was like very passionate throughout. It's a good one. It's a really good one, especially when like the jury's like applauding him by the time he finishes it. I mean, it's obviously a very, very good one.
Stop! You're gonna get us killed.
Is this like Wu taking Tony? No, not exactly. I think it's actually worse. Because like the Wu taking Tony thing is kind of a different case, where it's not like Wu had a misread on Tony. Like Wu knew what Tony was. It's just that he wanted to go, because like Tony was able to convince Wu that you can't go back on your word, and by him voting out Tony, that would be going back on his word, which would make him not look honorable. Like that is different from this situation, where Josh is just legitimately tricked into thinking that Betty is a bigger jury threat than Kevin. Now, I do think there are, like, we don't know. Like, for all we know, like, I suspect that Josh would have lost either way. Which is a big factor there, to where obviously like Wu wins if he takes Cass to the end, loses against Tony. This might be a situation where Josh loses no matter what. So I think that's also a change there. But yeah, I mean, this is actually worse from like a pure like decision making standpoint, where Josh essentially takes the person he doesn't want to win to the end, thinking that that person has no chance at winning the game, and it ends up losing in like overwhelming fashion. Like it's actually like it's kind of worse because like in terms of like his intentions, he is off of what his intentions like of what his intentions are. Where at least Wu wants to prove that he's an honorable person. He at least does that. He makes the wrong move game wise in the sense that he loses the game against Tony, but he at least does what he sets out to do. Josh doesn't do that. He actively does the opposite, where he actually loses the game. I don't know. Would he have gotten more votes? Probably, right? He would have gotten more votes against Betty. You would assume, right? Like, you would assume that he would have gotten the votes of Marty, probably Kevin, maybe, like, Gino and Chase. But, yeah, I mean, it's still not good. Like, this is really bad. Now, also, we don't fully know the ramp. Like, we don't know how this happened exactly. Like, obviously, I'm assuming that the work that Kevin's been putting in for weeks now in telling him how big of a jury threat Betty is has finally, like, clicked to Josh. And that's what made him flip here. But we don't know. Like, for all we know, like, I mean, like, even if Kevin did nothing, it's still, like, the work he did in previous weeks definitely would have played a factor. But, yeah, like, we don't know, we still don't know a lot. Like, we're gonna, like, to fully, like, get the full context of everything, we're gonna need to wait for exit interviews.
Let's go.
But, it does seem like a pretty insane move from Kevin. Is Kevin a better player than Dane? I'm still leaning towards no. The thing is, like, I think Kevin is a more impressive. Like, the way that Kevin has to play the game is more impressive. Like, it's probably the most impressive win, at least one of the most impressive wins I've ever seen. In terms of, like, I'm genuinely impressed with how they pulled it off. If we're talking about, like, how much, like, full control they had across the game, like, the dominance they had across the game, again, there's holes. There's definitely holes with Kevin. Again, Final 5 round, the way that he handles that round is terrible, where it makes him lose Josh and Betty. Final 4, it's like he stays, but it's due to very little that he's actively doing, where it's more so due to the fact that he just sucks at competitions that they end up keeping him over Helena. And then also we have the first, like, 4 weeks of the game where, like, he is playing well in terms of, like, staying in survival mode, but he's not really in control of how the game is playing out. Where, like, obviously we have, like, a Dane who is in control from beginning to end. And, like, while there is, like wonkiness at the Final 5, it's like he has more control throughout the entirety of the game than Kevin does. Where, again, like, I think what Kevin was able to do is way more impressive. Where, like, considering the position Kevin started out on, like, where, like, he is someone that's left outside of the initial majority alliance. He's nominated week 1. He can't win a competition to save his life. It's like, despite all these things, the fact that Kevin was still able to win at the end is very, very impressive. But I think we're looking at, like, when I do my, like, if I do update winner ranking, like, Kevin's probably number 2. He's definitely a top tier winner. Again, for me, him and Dan Giesling, BB10, are neck and neck, and I would actually probably put, I don't know, I think it's close, because, like, I think Dan BB10 probably had less flaws, but, again, I feel like Kevin here is more impressive in terms of, like, he does pull off some really insane moves across the game, to where it's like, I think it's kind of close between the two. But that's kind of where I would have Kevin on, like, a global ranking. Like, he'll probably be, like, what, 5 or 6, 7, somewhere in that range. In terms of a winner ranking. But player ranking will be interesting. I still think Dane is someone I would have more faith in on any given season. But I think Kevin might be number 2. Like, if we're talking about, like, Kevin versus Anthony. Like, I think it might be Kevin. I mean, obviously Kevin wins the game. And, like, every single time we see him get into a sticky position, he's still somehow somehow able to get out of it. Dan had a very easy cast BB10. Kevin had a very easy cast BBCAN10. This is not a good cast, by the way. This is a terrible cast from a gameplay perspective. So, like, I don't think that's, like, a fair argument. Like, I mean, this is a fucking terrible cast gameplay-wise. Like, when I get to my, like, looking at the player ranking, it's fucking sad because, like, Kevin's the only good player there to me. Where, like, Josh is fine, Helena is fine, everyone else, I mean... Like, Herman is someone that could do well in other seasons, but even then, he has holes on this season. I mean, like, what, Jace is number 4, right? I mean, that's something. You got Summer and Betty, you got Marty. It's like, it's not a great group of players. Who's better, Tony? Winners at War? And Game Changers? What do you mean, and Game Changers? Kevin didn't think he'd have Canada's vote. Yeah, I mean, that is a bit of a surprise. Dude, I didn't think he would have it. I mean, it did seem like Facebook was pretty anti-Kevin. So, yeah, kind of surprised he got the vote there. I didn't pay attention. How did the vote actually occur? Like, how was it just a popularity poll between the final 3? Or was it, like, did they have, like, the different scenarios and then say, okay, who would you vote between Kevin and Josh? Who would you vote between Betty and Josh? Who would you vote, like, that sort of thing. Like, which one was it? Because I think that greatly factors in. Because if it's the former, where it's just a vote between the 3, then it's not surprising at all that Kevin wins, because Betty and Josh are going to split the vote. And with most of the support obviously going towards Betty, so like, you would think Kevin would be second. Did I mention Betty saying "I hate you" in my review? I don't remember if I explicitly mentioned the line, but I mentioned the fight. Let's look up the word "hate" in my script. Oh, I do. I do say it. Yeah, I do say where is it? Yeah, during which we have a fun scene between him and Betty, with him trying to convince her to play up their feud, only for her to say, "I do hate you." Yeah, so it is, isn't it? I still can't believe how long this fucking script is. It's like, what the fuck? It's over 16,000 words. Oh, Tony Winners at War and Game Changers. Okay. I'd probably have Tony above. Like, on a winner ranking. I think player, maybe I would probably have Kevin. Where I like Tony again, like, had more, like, control over the game, like, was in more of a power position for longer in the game than Kevin was. But, like, obviously I think Kevin, especially if we're talking about pre-Winners at War, like, I think Tony just was not consistent enough. Like, I didn't look at him as consistent enough as a player. And to be fair, I don't look at Kevin as, like, I don't know exactly where he is in terms of consistency. Because, like, I do, like, obviously he's someone that I think coming into most seasons he's going to be on the bottom right away. But the fact is that we did see him get out of that this season. And do it very impressively, to where, like, every single time he was in a sticky situation, he got out of it somehow. And while there was, like, luck involved at certain points, like, it's like he did very impressive work across the season, to where, like, I just don't know if, like, is he going to do that every time he plays? And, like, I would assume not, because that's, like, a very difficult thing to do. Like, it's like, the game that Kevin plays here is extremely difficult to play. The fact that the fact that he was able to win this season here without winning a single competition, like, is pretty difficult to do, and especially, like, without having, like, a solid power structure, not really having a solid alliance, really. Did I fuck it up again? I don't know. Yeah, it's like, I feel like I don't know how often we're going to see a game like this win. Just because, like, again, like, the level of difficulty is so high that, again, we saw, like, Dan win a game similar to this in BB10, but, like, is Kevin the only, like, other one? I mean, like, I know I saw earlier that someone mentioned the Andy comparison. I think Andy, again, like I think Andy was more like in control than Kevin was. Like Andy had a set power structure and was the person like kind of behind, like he allowed like Helen and Amanda to go out in front, and then like convince them to go after each other, and then later flips the power structure and all that. Like he's someone that is like more ingrained in how the game is playing out than Kevin is. But so like I would have Andy higher on a winner ranking. But again, like the level of difficulty for Kevin's game is much higher.
Wait, this place we're going.
Love how distraught Joshua is after Kevin's pitch to jury. Yeah, I mean you see him shaking his head a lot through the through Kevin's answers. I do feel for Josh. I mean, again, like obviously he does make like bad decisions and whatnot, but it's like, I mean, this is like the worst case scenario for Josh, and that's like what I was talking about earlier, where it's like this played out in the worst possible way for Josh, to where he cuts Betty, who in his mind it's like him cutting Netta. Like he thinks he's the John, he's cutting Netta, he's getting to the end, gonna demolish Kevin at the end. He thinks like Kevin's Sabrina, when in reality he's like cutting the Sabrina and like taking Netta to the end, like accidentally, and losing to her, or him, I guess, in this situation. But like, yeah, it's like this is the worst case scenario for Josh, especially because like this is a situation where he doesn't like the like he's at the point where he doesn't even like Kevin that much anymore. Like he's obviously like his relationship with him is soured over the last few weeks, to where like that's part of the reason he takes him to the end, is because he thinks that Kevin can't win. It's again like just really like humorous but also sad, this entire like outcome for Josh here. Do I think Jonathan can beat Fessy in Hall Brawl? Probably. How big is Jonathan? I feel like I've heard conflicting reports, but he's got to be big, right? Like you would assume he's at least Fessy size, right? Yeah, I feel like it'll be an interesting battle. Most people they cast now are bad. What do you think of Andy? Yeah, I think Andy is like one of the best players in the history of the show. Like especially we're taking his like one appearance into account. Again, he's another one that kind of like Kevin, where like I don't know if he's able to repeat that on every season.
Here it is.
But I mean, the one game he did have was like extremely impressive. Do I think next season BBCAN's All Stars? It could be. I feel like if we're going to have it, this is the time to do it. I mean, it does feel like we're in a bit of like a renaissance for BBCAN, where BBCAN 9 and 10 are obviously like both top tier seasons. And like considering ratings are fine from what I understand at this point, like it seems like this is the time to do it, especially because it is technically the 10-year anniversary next year. So like I can definitely see them doing it. But yeah, at this point I'm pretty solid on the, like, I mean, too fair, I was solid before, but like even more now. I am definitely going to do the ranking of every player for BBCAN before BBCAN 11. I don't know exactly when it will be, like when exactly it'll come out. But at some point before BBCAN 11, I am going to rank every player. And I feel like Kevin's win here obviously like is a factor in that, like that like further solidified that. So I do feel like it would be interesting to see where he lands. I enjoyed the actual finale episode. I thought it was really strong. Like I will say that I do feel like the reunion went on for a bit too long, and like really like I don't think they picked the best things to show people. Where like outside of the Kevin's like fake marriage, like I feel like everything else there was kind of just eh.
I have to try.
But yeah, like that dragged on. I also felt like the jury roundtable was kind of underwhelming. Like that wasn't that interesting. But as a whole, I mean, like everything leading up to the Betty eviction was incredible. Like the back and forth that there was of like thinking that Kevin had no shot coming into it. He wins that. He wins part one. you have a very turbulent part 3, to which he ends up losing. You think it's done, and then like Josh votes out Betty.
Pull yourself together before the others see you.
And I thought jury questioning was very interesting. Obviously, you have Kevin give a really great performance. You have Josh give a very performance. And one where like you can see like he's like starting to realize that, oh shit, I'm probably not gonna win. So yeah, that's a thing. And then yeah, and I think it ended pretty well too. So.
Someone who contributes to our survival.
Really great finale. I think one of the all-time great finales. Even though I do feel like, again, the reunion went on for a bit too long. But that's BB-Can for you. Josh and Betty are a classic case, thinking that they're main characters this season in the end game, causing them to be blind. Partially, yeah. I think they had a complete misread on the jury. And to fair, I feel like almost everyone did. I think even Kevin did. I don't even think Kevin, like, obviously we see him, like, be very surprised when he wins. Like, I think he didn't even know, like, he was gonna be as respected by a jury. Like, I think none of them actually truly like understood where the jury was at. That being said, I do think, yeah, Betty and Josh definitely I think expected them to be more respected than what they were.
I'm sorry, Clem. You brought this on yourself.
Oh, anyone from BBCAN10 be in the top 20? Tie. Probably. Again, there's only like slightly over 100 players. So like top 20 is like top 20, like is top 10, or fuck me. Top 20 is then top 20%. So it's like, that's only like 1/5, like the top 5th. So it's like, it's not that that impressive for like one player from a season landing there. So yeah, I expect Ty to make it. I think Kiefer could border on it. I think more than likely he'll probably end up being in the like 21 to 30 range, but
what was it all for?
Yeah.
Don't forget, I'm one of you.
Who's a better player, Kevin or Andy? I would probably lean Andy.
Let her say goodbye.
But I think it's like extremely close.
Fine. You heard her.
Like, I feel like I would have more faith in Andy. Like, the game that Andy plays, I think is a game that's more repeatable than the one that Kevin plays. But again, like, it's extremely close. Because again, like, Kevin is a person that comes into a season and is like on the bottom, is on like the bottom of the house, but then like climbs his way up. Andy is someone that was always like pretty much in the middle of the house the entire time, and like was never in danger the entire time, while Kevin was obviously in danger a lot more. So like I would lean Andy, but I think Kevin probably has like, actually I don't know, does he have more impressive individual moves? Because like Andy's like handling of the double eviction was really great. Again, him like essentially getting Helen and Amanda to target each other, him getting them the backdoor Judd, him getting them the backdoor Nick. It's like there's a lot of great stuff from Andy. Is Kyle on the bottom of the list? No. Kyle's not even on the bottom of the BB10 player ranking, let alone player of all time.
I can't believe David would be so heartless.
I don't even know if he's bottom 10, to be honest. Like, he's obviously like around there, but like I don't know if he is even bottom 10. But he's getting, like, Kyle had a very strong first 2 weeks, and that's better than like most. And like what he does in the first 2 weeks is better than what most like other early boots do. So like even though he like has astronomically bad like ending to his game, it's like those first 2 weeks still prop him up enough. Is Helena second on player ranking? I think I'm gonna go with Josh over Helena, but I think it's very close between the two. Because like the thing with Josh is that I at least have like more faith in Josh to obviously win out in the way that he did. Also, I think Josh had more respect from the jury than Helena. Like, based on what we've heard from the jury, it seemed like no one respected Helena at all. And no one was ever going to vote for Helena. So, like, it seems like Josh would have beaten Helena if they got to the end together. So, yeah, I lean Josh over Helena. Betty on the player ranking, I think that's more interesting. I am currently debating it a bit. I'm currently thinking like better or worse than Summer.
Here they come.
And then also, I think through that comes the argument: is Summer better than like Gino? I think that's also a question.
Maybe we can force it open.
At what point do I think Josh lost? I don't think we fully know yet. Because again, for all we know, he beats Betty. Which, if that's the case, then obviously it's with the final decision. If that's not the case, then probably when he votes out Helena, to where I think he could have voted out, he could have won against Helena. And even if that's not the case at that point, then like it probably goes back to the triple. But again, we don't fully know like who wins what scenarios at this point. Who's the highest on player ranking for Survivor? I think it's gonna be Omer, no matter what. To be honest, at this point, like I'd be surprised if Omer doesn't end up being number one. Like it would have to, like there would have to be a big downfall for Omer, for him to not be number one in the player ranking. I think Betty's better than Summer. I'm leaning that way. Because at least we do have Josh being, I mean, I guess more loyal to Betty than Summer. I guess he wasn't really loyal by the end of it. But yeah, I think, I don't know, I think they're around the same caliber of player, realistically. Like, I think Summer's probably better socially. Like, probably, but like, things are not. I guess it is probably by a decent amount. Yeah, Summer's definitely more of a jury threat. That's the thing to factor in. But again, it's the tough thing is, like, if let's say if like Betty was third place, Summer was fourth place, then yeah, I would have Summer above Betty. The problem is that we're talking the difference between third place and seventh place. And it was a decision like on who to keep between the two, to where Summer loses the battle with Betty, largely due to Betty being more loyal, or due to Josh being more loyal to Betty than to Summer. So it's like,
damn, man. That was too close.
Hopefully that door holds him.
Joe messes things, yeah. Kind of, I mean, like, she's probably on her way out soon anyway, right? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's kind of a wonky situation because at that point we're like, because obviously Jace would have been the bigger target, but if they do get to the 5, like the initial assumption would have been that Josh would have targeted Summer at that point, and really they all would have targeted Summer, outside of Betty. But also, like, that's around the point in the game where like Betty catches on. But then that was also perpetuated by the strained relationship between Betty and Josh that wouldn't have happened anyway. So yeah, it's a lot of like what ifs. Who I think is better, War Dog or Ricard? I'd probably say Ricard.
What the hell are you doing here?
Ask your brother.
But yeah, it's kind of similar.
Trust me. How could you do that to Clem? God,
but yeah, like Ricard got much closer to winning the game. Like War Dog's someone that we don't even know if, even if he got to the end, if he would have won. And like what really was, like, what was his path? Like, I don't know what he was like thinking his path was to the end at that point. So yeah, I'd go Ricard.
She knew what would happen.
How Marty win fan favorite? I mean, yeah, I mean, it's Canada for you, I guess. I don't know.
Did he suffer?
Yeah, like I genuinely, I was a bit surprised. I mean, obviously, like we knew that like the casual audience did like Marty, but I actually, yeah, I did not think Marty was actually going to win.
I wouldn't have let him. But I didn't have to
is there any debate at all for Kevin being ordained? There's definitely debate. I will probably personally side against it, though.
He lived. But how?
Like, I would definitely side, like, because again, like, I feel like Dane is a player I would have a lot more confidence on a return than Kevin. Where I think Kevin's someone that's going to be inherently in danger early on in the game, no matter when he plays. to where I feel like Dane is the type of person that's always in the majority
That's great. Clem, this is
whenever
good
he
news.
enters the game, and at that
How am I
point,
supposed to
like,
believe you?
is very good at comps, good socially, good strategically.
Please, I'm telling the truth.
Where like obviously I think Kevin's
Where-
also lacking the
where
strategic
is
or
MJ
the
now?
comp ability.
I don't know for sure.
That'll harm him too.
But he's in Richmond?
Herman should be higher than Jace. I disagree, just because like again, like it's a massive leap in placements.
going back.
Jace was at Final 5 in a position where if she wins out, she probably wins the game. Herman got voted out Final 10 in a position where I also have like issues with how he handles like certain situations earlier than that.
What's your plan, David?
While I feel like he showed a lot of promise, like I don't like how he handles Kyle. Like I think the entire like how he handles Kyle the week afterwards is pretty bad.
I don't want you to worry about Kate.
What was the other one?
I'll take care of my family.
I feel like there was like 2 flaws I had with Herman.
You'll be safe with me.
Fine.
Either way, it's like it's not like
It's about time you stepped up.
like Herman's good,
You got
but I don't think he's that good.
Shit! Board it up. We need something to buffer. Something heavy.
There.
Oh, is Cobra Kai coming back? That's the thing. Why is it like? When was the last season? Yeah, why are we getting more Cobra Kai? I'm genuinely like I personally just don't get it with Cobra Kai, and it's weird because like obviously I've watched every season at this point, and like it's fine, but like I generally like don't get why everyone likes Cobra Kai so much. Do I think this is the best modern BB finale? I would say second best to BB19.
Board it up.
I think BB19's finale is one of the best episodes in all of Big Brother, let alone finales.
Help me.
To where I feel like with BB19, it's more consistent all around. Where again, like I did not like the reunion segment here. I felt like the jury roundtable was kind of boring.
Where'd you find this?
Yeah, like I feel like while like the
Show me.
like first like half, I guess, of the episode was pretty strong. I do feel like it kind of loses its luster by the end of it, outside of like obviously Kevin winning. While like with BB19, it's like it's pretty fantastic the entire time, and especially from the point where like you have Josh winning final HOH, he takes Paul. You have the jury roundtable, which is one of the best ever. Where you have like Mark and Matt getting into a fight, you have a lot of like arguing and everything. That's really fun. You have the jury questioning where Paul realizes that he's starting, like he's probably gonna lose, and like his like you can see him like starting to kind of freak out there. You have being like called out for bullying and all that stuff, and you obviously have the actual vote reveal, which is fantastic, the 5-4 result.
For emergencies. Your people looted this stuff from Prescott.
Is BB19 finale still great if Paul wins? No, that's the point. It's because it's the downfall of Paul that makes it so great.
Gutted my town.
This is bigger than just.
Is Parker the worst player ever on the circle? I think up there.
Towns here too.
I mean, it's weird because it's like she kind of did the opposite of what like the typical flaw of the circle is, right? Because like the typical flaw of the circle of the first boots is that you're like actually playing, you're like a really attractive woman actually playing yourself, and then you get booted because they think you're a catfish. Instead, we get a really attractive woman playing a catfish and still getting voted out for playing a catfish. Like this time, though, it's like genuinely catfish, but it's not even like an attractive woman. The catfish itself isn't the attractive woman, but like the person itself was. So that's awesome. Does it mean Amarty will host a jury roundtable next year? I wouldn't put it past them. To be fair, I feel like it probably would have been Ty if Ty was on Amazing Race. I do feel like Kiefer was like a really weird pick though. Like that was like really out of left field. Like I don't know why the fuck they picked Kiefer. But yeah, I mean, I'm more than likely. I think next season will probably be Kevin, right? I think that's probably the more realistic one. Who did last season was Anthony, right? So have they been doing people from the previous seasons for a while? No, right? Because BBCAN10 wasn't that, right? Who is the host for BBCAN10? I actually don't even remember anymore. But yeah, like I feel like it's probably Kevin though. Oh shit, I was looking at the screen. Taylor Alicia might be the worst player. I mean, like, Taylor Alicia at least had a backing. For, like, the first couple rounds. Kevin speeched it again, where he said he would have taken Helena. Yeah, that was kind of funny. I mean, like, that should have been obvious, right? That, like, to Helena. Considering, like, how much they talked about cutting Josh, but I guess you never know. I guess I actually have to pay attention to this, because I guess I'm just gonna end up having to redo it over and over again if I don't. Who's the worst winner of the circle? If we're talking about US, I would probably... Yeah, I mean, it would be Delisa. It's not even close, actually. Because, like, the other two are actually really good. If we're talking about worldwide, it's probably Marina from Brazil. Because she had no clue what the fuck was going on. And literally is, like, the last person of her alliance that makes it to the end, and then, like, kind of wins because, like, no one expected her to win, so everyone rates her high. Hey, I wouldn't be opposed to doing a finale ranking for Big Brother and Survivor, or for Big Brother US and Canada, but, like, it's probably not for a while.
If I'd have known you were David's brother, I'd have shoved that gas can down your throat.
Should have picked Emmett so you could try to convince everyone that he's a better player than Kevin. That would have been funny.
But this'll do.
Or Bruno, yeah. Bruno would do the same thing. Marina was a good character, yeah. But not a good player. Oh, fuck off! Did I really just die again? Yeah. Okay, at least it didn't send me all the way back. James came in late, but I thought he was great when he got there. Yeah, I mean, he does a really good job. Like, he takes over Calvin's spot, which is, like, pretty, like, from a gameplay perspective, really good. Where he's essentially able to, like, find his way into the alliance there. And, like, he kind of caves to what Nick wants a lot of the way, but obviously he ends up winning, so that's something. Bruce said he'll eat a toy Thanos gauntlet at the start of the season if Kevin won. Well, that's something. I think, didn't Puya almost did a similar thing? Where he almost made, like, a similar promise that Kevin wins, he's gonna, like, do something. I don't think he ended up doing it, but... Yeah, it is funny how low people were on Kevin preseason. But he's like, I wasn't, like, that low. Like, I was low in the sense that, like, I thought he was a high variance player. But I didn't actually think he was going to be what he was in his previews. Like, in his bio and everything. Like, where, like, I thought he would be a player that, like, knew what he was supposed to do. It's just that I didn't have much faith in him actually being able to do it. And, like, he ends up, like, obviously doing it. And, like, that's impressive. But it's like, yeah, like, I feel like people were just way too low on Kevin in the preseason. If Chloe won Circle Season 2, how would she rank as a winner? Probably still third.
Get it over with.
I would know, maybe above James at that point.
Come on. What are you waiting for?
I don't remember Chloe's early game. Circle Season 2, I just have, like, very little memory of at this point. Yeah, kill him. Was Brent or Big D close to making Bomb 10? Probably Brent was closer. Big D was a bit off just because obviously it's like he at least had like a lot of longevity.
That's enough,
Oh,
man.
that's kind of gruesome, isn't it? Kevin's your first boot pick? I don't think I ever like actually have a first boot pick. I think the only time I've actually thought of like who's actually gonna be the first boot is like since I've started streaming, people have asked me like who do you think is gonna be the first boot? Yeah, I'm second to last. Yeah, I had him, what, like 12 out of 16? So I had him, like, relatively low. But again, like, I didn't think he was going to be, like, that bad, though. I just thought he was going to be, like, ineffective. What do you think of Andy preseason? I was pretty high on Andy. He wasn't my winner pick, but he was, like, one of, like, the people I, like, thought would do well.
Raiding, looting, you betrayed who we are.
If you're a nerd named Kevin, don't apply for next 2 years. Probably more than that. And we saw even when Steve. Actually, I guess that's only like 3 seasons later, isn't it? Yeah, so never mind. I guess I thought that was longer, but I guess not. But yeah, it's gonna be tough for the nerd archetype moving forward. Where I put Jillian overall BBCAN ranking in terms of player ranking, pretty high. Like obviously not top 10 or anything, but like probably top 20.
We did it on her orders.
Said Abraham would be the first boot? Yeah, that seemed likely. Yeah, I was like really low on Abraham, right? Because like Abraham was like, didn't he have like very what was the problem with Abraham? I forgot what it was now. Like I remember it was like he had like conflicting responses at points in his like in like his bio and then from his interviews.
We don't need your help.
I'm begging you.
Yeah, I forgot exactly what it was at this point though. That made me so anti-Abraham. What do I think of Betty as a player? I don't think she's that good of a player. I think this is one of her best case scenarios. And even then, she didn't win. I think Betty's a mostly mediocre player.
If he warns Joan.
I think she's probably like she's essentially like a better version of Tala from a player perspective. Where like at least she does have like a semblance of a strategic mind. I think she's mostly ineffective in like the strategies that she tries to come up, but like she's at least someone that is playing the game. It's not like she's a passive player. I do think she has misreads in the game. She's like mostly misguided in what she's trying to do. But again, like she does some good work here and there. Like she does create that final four with Gino, Jace, and Josh that keeps her safe during the Marty backdoor week and almost gets Marty backdoored. Final five, she gets Josh back on her side. But outside of that, I think she's mostly pretty mediocre.
People need to know about what we found here.
Don't know why, but Kevin's inspiring to you. You and Kevin are similar to. Well, then that's good.
Life isn't exactly high on your list of priorities. Don't have time to keep
Abraham versus Melina. I would say Melina is probably a worse BBCAN player relatively than Abraham is. A worse as a survivor player.
So do others.
Where like Melina is up there for me in terms of like debatably the worst player BBCAN history. But like Abraham's not even in my bottom 10 survivor players. So
one step at a time.
In your opinion, Brent is a better player than Big D? I wouldn't agree based on their first appearance.
We both do.
We all do.
But yeah, I mean they're both pretty bad, obviously. Who's my preseason winner pick for B15? It was McRae. I was very anti-Jeremy. I hated Jeremy at the time. Like I really fucking hated Jeremy. Like I probably hated Jeremy more than I hated like Gina Marie and Aaron. Like I fucking hated Jeremy at the time. And to be honest, I don't know why in retrospect. Like obviously he's a douche. He's a fucking asshole. But still, it's like I don't know why I hated him so much at the time.
I'll back you up, but I'm doing this for Kate, not you.
But yeah, it was McRae though.
Fine. As long as we get
was Josh on runner-up ranking? I think that's an interesting question. When I think of Josh, I think of him as middle tier. I do think obviously the issue now is like the fact that did he make the wrong decision in taking Kevin? In the sense that like was he going to win if he took Betty? Because if he makes like that actively bad of a move, then I think that's obviously a thing to factor in. But I was looking at him as like a middle of the road player. So, like, in terms of BBCAN, where does that put him? That probably puts him... I don't even remember my runner-up ranking anymore. Cool, it actually comes up. You look up BBCAN. To be honest, I think, like, there's an argument between him and Kayla. Which I think mostly just shows you that BBCAN runners-up aren't that good. But I think there's probably an argument between him and Kayla. I'd probably go below.
I'm going after her.
Lingard brought her to the
clinic. I don't know. I think it's kind of close. Sabrina's number 4. Wow, this is a really bad grouping of players. The runners-up of BBCAN.
We'll all meet up there.
Yeah, I think he's probably fighting for Kayla spot.
Stay out of sight. They'll be keeping an eye out for us.
In terms of, like, the thing is, Josh is a very passive player, and he's a player that when he actively tries to play the game, he makes the wrong decision for his game. I think a big pro for me with Josh is his overall positioning in the game, where he is very well positioned throughout a lot of the game. Where, like, early on, like, obviously he has, like, a lot of these really good relationships. Again, he's still passive in how he manages those relationships, and I think that's a massive issue. Yeah, difference in quality between runner-up and final jurors. Funny, yeah.
Keep an eye on David.
Because again, like, Derek, to me, I would probably have Derek above Kayla, or maybe, like, below. Yeah, Derek's, like, what, number 6 or something on the runner, or in the final juror ranking? 5 or 6? So yeah, there definitely is a big gap in quality.
Watch your back.
Yeah, like, for me, like, with Josh, like, it's one, I feel like I have faith in his comp ability. That would propel him a bit. Like, we're talking about, like, from a player perspective, I guess. But then, like, he is someone that is very good socially in terms of getting people to like him and wanting to keep him around the game. To the point where, like, again, Kyle tries to backdoor him, and almost the entire house votes to save him. Which, to be fair, part of that was, like, an anti-Kyle sentiment, but there was definitely a lot of pro-Josh sentiment as well. He does save himself at the final 5. Lies to Kevin and Helena, gets them to keep him. Mind you, he does that after being told by Betty to do so.
Anyway, sounds like some paranoid horseshit.
But yeah, like, I think there's a lot of, like, ups and downs with Josh's game. So, like, I think for most pros that you can say about his game, you can mention another con.
Friends there. Doesn't exactly look like a welcoming committee.
I think Josh, like, really, I think Josh is an interesting player because, like, I do think in terms of a player ranking, it's difficult because I think on paper he is, like, what you would want in a Big Brother player. He is a very well-rounded player in the sense that he is good at competitions. He is good social, like, really good socially. And then strategically, he's competent enough. Like, he's definitely not good. But, like, he's good enough to where, like, I would have a lot of faith in Josh coming into any given season. But I do feel like he is lacking... he's lacking a lot in terms of... It's not really killer instinct, because obviously, like, he does end up making the move to take out Betty. But I guess it's more so, like, just accurate reads. Like, he doesn't have a good read on the game. And I think he also, like, gets a bit too emotional at points to where that kind of harms his thought process on things as well. Sabrina better than Brayden? Maybe? I don't remember anymore, to be honest. I know it was low on Brayden. Sabrina is someone that at least, like, was in a good position for first, like, 4 or 5 weeks of the game.
Sorry.
Brayden's kind of, like, more all over the place. Brayden was definitely closer to winning the game, though. People are arguing Ika's a better player than Kevin. Well, that's something.
Is he coming?
Yeah, I don't agree, but whatever. I do think Ika is a player that, like...
Oh, okay.
I think,
David has a house in town.
like, obviously I didn't have Ika in my top 10 players, and I still wouldn't. But I think, like, people will probably think I'm more negative on Ika than what I actually am.
I felt like she was sizing me up. It was creepy.
But still, like, I think Ika just has the fundamental flaw of, like, how she handles the jury, really.
Didn't need to worry, but it only
to where, like, I have a tough time seeing Ika win most jury votes that have people that don't know who she is beforehand, because she handles the jury in a really poor way.
She ordered raids on other settlements.
Like, I think now, like, if Ika were to play again and Ika win, and, like, Ika gets to the end, Ika's winning the game. Because, like, everyone loves Ika now. But, like, I think if you were to just throw her, again, like, in BB2, or BBCAN10, if she were to somehow make it to the end, I don't have faith in her winning a jury vote. Obviously, she wasn't going to win a jury vote in BBCAN5. Like, I feel like that's, like, a major issue with Ika. Also, like, I think through BBCAN5, you kind of see, like, the fact that she's not that good at competitions. She is good socially at points, but then also has, like, again, poor relationships like a Jackie and whatnot. But it's mostly, like, good socially. She's fine enough strategically, but I think she's, like, one of these people that, like, doesn't really give it her all strategically, especially, like, considering she had Dimitri's, and I think by the end she was, like, willing to give up her game for Dimitri's.
Again.
We're gonna go to David's house.
Javi.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I don't fucking care what decisions I'm making in this game at this point. Is Kevin the Tommy a big brother? No.
I've got a gun in the room.
I think Tommy's a way more consistent player than
Like
Kevin. Like, I think, like, if we're talking about, like, the fact that they didn't win competitions and, like, that element of it, sure, but, like, Tommy is someone that, again, like, was well positioned on the offset. Like, he's someone that was already, like, pretty much in the middle of his initial tribe, and then by the time the swap, he's able to become more of a central figure in the what was it? What was the name of their tribe? Vokai? Was that the name of their tribe? I don't remember.
What's up?
But yeah, essentially, he becomes a more central figure in the power structure. Kevin is someone that, like, again, starts the game on the bottom. Like, he's someone that, like, no one really wants to work with early on, and has to fight his way. Which, again, is impressive. But I do think puts, like, less credence into him doing well in more appearances.
She's not a big fan of your dad.
Is this the new worst move in BBCAN? We don't know.
You should ask her.
I think, again, it'll come down to would Josh have beaten Betty?
We need to go. Okay.
If it turns out Josh would have beaten Betty, then yes, it is. Like, by a lot. If it's not the case, then, like, probably not. He's like, he probably would. I mean, if he loses either way, then it doesn't really matter. That means that his read that Betty was a jury threat isn't necessarily wrong. It's just that he misread that Kevin wasn't a jury threat.
A brawl. I only ever saw him truly happy when he was talking.
Do I think Ika getting Cindy to put up Netta was more of Cindy being a moron and Ika playing well? I think it's both.
I guarantee.
I think Ika played well to, like, play up the like, see how much Canada hates her to Cindy, and also Cindy's an idiot, so it's both.
No, I'll bet it does.
Biggest move Kevin made, probably lying on his wedding ring to Marty to get him to the point where he decides to go to gummy bears. Either that or probably the Herman backdoor.
David told us to come here.
Or, I mean, or maybe I don't know, but, like, that backfires on them. But maybe the, getting Josh to put up Betty in the triple. Or essentially the management of his relationship with Josh, I think is really probably the best. Like, that's probably his best move, is his handling of Josh throughout most of the game. Again, he fucks it up Final 5, but, like, he really snows Josh for a lot of the game. Would be the worst move then if it's not the Josh thing? Is it Godfrey?
I know what you're telling me.
Like, what is the other situation where it's a binary choice, they win or they lose?
You've got a lot to
I think it's only Godfrey and BBCAN, right?
Must be joking.
Because obviously Dane wins no matter. I mean, I guess we have to have a runner-up win the final HOH.
Together.
There aren't that many times where that's happened, though, right?
Wouldn't miss it.
It's only been, what, Kelsey? But Kelsey loses against both.
What's going on here?
Godfrey wins against Ashley, loses against Sarah. So I think that's probably the answer.
What we all agreed.
Or, I mean, funnily, like, maybe Gary voting out Jillian.
It hurts me to see you betray your own.
But obviously, like, that's something completely opposite. But it's funny that, yeah, like, if Gary votes out Emmett, he wins. Because at that point, Topaz isn't, like, obsessed with making the snarky comment that she ends up making.
What are you people talking about?
And he still gets the same votes.
So this is your play?
And to be fair, actually, he probably, like, doesn't even get Andrew's vote in that situation. Doesn't even get he doesn't get Tal's vote for sure. So it's like he probably actually wins by even more.
I can. Lonnie?
Go ahead, Lonnie. Tell us.
Knowing the end result is him not keeping Jace so bad. Again, it's not and I said this even at the time. It's not about the choice of who he picks. It's the fact that he didn't make a decision, and then let both sides know that he is unsure of what decision he's making. Like, that is the issue. It's not the fact that he keeps Josh. Like, again, him keeping Josh was his ideal move coming into the round. But by how much he fucks up his relationship with Josh, that's what makes it a bad move by the end of it. So, like, no matter what, it's still a bad move. Like, he still played suboptimally. But, like, it honestly ends up working out for him.
Hurt those people.
BB17 winner pick, it was Johnny Mac.
Because David told us to.
I did not think Vanessa was going to do that well preseason. Because before that, like, all we had seen from poker players were the people on Survivor. So you had, like, a Garrett, and you had, like, John Robert, like some of these other people. Is Ike a top 20? Yes. Ike's top 20. Ike's probably, like, I don't know, probably, like, 15-ish, if I were to guess.
We confronted him. Me, Badge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Talo would have voted Gary over Emmett.
We were done.
So at that point, it's like, it doesn't matter anyway, right? Like, Gary
He didn't need us anymore.
would have won by even more.
Not with his brother here now. That's when he...
So, like, it's funny, because it's like, so, like, Dan, like, obviously Dan comes into the house, BB1. He tells Gary that Emmett is the biggest threat. You can't take Emmett to the end. That causes Gary to not take Emmett to the end, which in turn actually ends up costing him the game. Like, it's funny how that plays out.
Stand up for what's right.
I think
Steve was going to do not well. I thought he would be one of the first few boots.
Try and drag him into your mess. The things you
And there definitely was still, like, the Steve Ian comparisons.
I still have friends here. Allies. This won't stand.
Does Emmanuel have a chance of winning Spice Life now if he beats Devin? No.
Sorry to say it, but you're
I think
They were our family,
CT was, like, the clear front runner there.
How could you?
And to be fair, the final part of the final ends being fucked anyway. But either way, especially well, the final again if he doesn't get DQ'd, probably. Is that the end of the episode? Oh, okay. Yeah, who fucking cares about New Frontier? New Frontier's so fucking boring. Didn't I have this rated as, like, one of the best episodes of the season? I think I did, right? I mean, what a shit season. Who's the hottest girl, BBCAN10? I mean, like, it's Jace or Helena. Probably, like, from, like, my taste, probably Helena. But, probably more stereotypically, probably Jace.
Previously on The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I don't know how much I really want to play this. What time is it? It's 1 o'clock? I mean, I guess we can do episode 4. This is probably, like, only, like, an hour and a half. Probably an hour and a half. Close for that. But either way, yeah, we'll probably do episode 4, and then that'll be it. What's the best episode of reality TV I've ever seen? Merge episode of Kagion. I think it's the best episode in the history of the show. Of Survivor, at least. And then, I would assume that's the best episode of any reality TV show. I mean, Stephanie's hot, too. Not really my type, personally. Yeah.
Joe was in on it.
Oh, I do for Tanisha's up there, too.
We did it on her orders. I'm sorry.
It is too late for sorry, you backstabbing shitbag.
I'll tell everyone
A
in
ridiculous
Richmond
line.
about this.
We don't need your help.
I'm begging you.
Who from the season do I want back?
Wait a second.
Let's see.
David told us to come here.
I think it would be interesting to see Kevin play again, though I don't think he would do well. I think I'm good without Josh. Betty would be fun on a return. I don't know if I need Helena back.
How could you?
Jace could be interesting. I think Jace demonstrated a lot of potential. And even if it's not for, like, Big Brother, like, I think she could do the challenge. I think that could even be interesting. To be fair, I don't know how well she would do. She's pretty small, right? But Herman, Moose, I think both of them would be fun returnees, whether it be on BBCAN or, like, on the challenge. I Summer would be a fine returnee. Probably for BB-Can. I don't think she would fit that well in the challenge. I think a Kyle Moore return would be funny. I think see Kyle try again. I think would be funny. That's probably about it. Maybe Jay. I think Jay had some potential, but don't know if I need to see a Jay return.
Damn it. Strike one.
I'm out of practice, that's all.
Yeah, Moose gets Moose. And the thing is, like, I don't know how much like Moose cares though to actually try to play the game. Because like I think the thing with Moose is that he obviously has like some natural ability for the game. It's just the fact that he doesn't know the show at all. And I think if he had gotten some game knowledge, he would do well. The problem is that I don't get the sense that he cares enough to actually like learn the game anyway. Like, it kind of feels to me like maybe in this like Paul situation, what happened with Paul between 18 and 19, where he didn't even do any research in between that time. Like, I feel like I could definitely see Moose do something like that if he were to return for like next season, where like he just didn't bother to watch BBCAN10.
Who do I make this out to?
He probably just will watch BBCAN6 again, though. It's so fucking dumb that that's literally a thing that he did. Is that the only season he ever watched before he applied was BBCAN6, because he's friends with Erica. And then, like, he applies for a show, they tell him to watch a season, he's like, what should I watch? I guess I'll watch BBCAN6 again. It's so fucking dumb.
Whatever.
What player I want to see on Survivor? Probably a lot of them. I think Rachel would be fun.
Back to baseball.
Rachel, Janelle, Derek, maybe, Cody, Paulie. Yeah, fuck David.
It's out of here. Holy cow.
Marty return would be fun. I wouldn't hate it personally, but I don't need it either.
You should try it.
And like, I feel like if he were to return now, knowing that he's like Canada's favorite, I feel like it might be insufferable. To where like he might like really play up to Canada even more.
What do you suggest? Put some money on
yeah, I like Melina, but she's never gonna do well in Big Brother. Like, she's just not meant for this game.
You actually wanted to come here. If I were in your situation, I'd avoid batting cages forever.
Would it be fun to watch though? I think she would just go out right away, or be like a goat that's dragged to the end. Like, I don't know how fun it would actually be.
Oh, Garcia's on fire.
I think your ego's boosted plenty.
And if you're from Challenger, I'd like to play Survivor again. Probably a lot.
I don't really shoot,
but I do. And I'm good at it.
It's like, name any big name on the challenge. That's probably someone I wouldn't mind seeing play Survivor.
Good thing. My arm's throbbing.
Oh, come on. Don't be a wuss.
From the last 3 newbie seasons of US where I want to see return. I mean, 23, there's a lot. I feel like a lot of 23's casts I would like to see back. Mind you, a lot of them just came back for the challenge. But, yeah, like, I mean, I wouldn't mind an Xavier return. Kylan's would be fun. Hannah would be interesting. Especially maybe in, like, a couple more years. Tiffany, obviously. DX. Even Claire. Even Sarah Beth, I wouldn't be opposed to. Who else is there? Christian, I wouldn't be opposed to Christian. Alyssa, I missed Alyssa. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people from 23. If we're talking about 21, it's like, who the fuck do I even need to see back from 21? Tommy. I think Tommy's probably the big answer.
What's going on?
Like, Cliff could be interesting, but I'm also like, I feel like we're good. Maybe Ovi.
And I'm sick of it.
Maybe Kemi.
It's been that way for years. You tried.
That's probably about it from
Let me help you. You really want to help?
From 21.
All right.
Maybe Kat. Maybe.
To the recruitment office next week. The army? My job sucks.
Brittany for Survivor 43. Why not?
I belong back in the army. I had a purpose there. I had respect.
Well, I like to see known swimmer Scuba Nelly do a swimming comp on Survivor. Who the fuck is Scuba Nelly?
I've thought about this for a long time.
Get Claire. Oh, yeah, Claire on Survivor would be interesting, especially considering she's obviously a more of a Survivor fan.
It seemed like that would be best for everyone.
Oh, you're talking about fucking Nelson? Okay.
This is the life I want. Is this really a thing? He called himself Scuba Nelly?
Is this really a thing he called himself Scuba Nelly? Is this really a thing he called himself Scuba Nelly? Is this really a thing he called himself Scuba Nelly? Is this really a thing he called himself Scuba Nelly? I have like no memory of that. I genuinely have like no memory of him calling himself Scuba Nelly. Kevin versus Vanessa, I would say Kevin.
You can help.
Because I feel like Vanessa has the same issues to me as Kevin. Oh, actually, but then again, Vanessa's better in competitions, though. So I guess maybe that's the thing that, like, maybe could lean it back towards Vanessa. But I think I have more faith in Kevin overall in terms of the, like, social and strategic elements of the game than Vanessa. But again, like, Vanessa can win competitions, so maybe it equals out, but I would probably lean Kevin. Was that Spies, Lies, and Allies?
Get in there, you two. Joan's gonna figure out what to do with you.
She's making a huge
Natalie made a video call. Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah. That it was just like a big clickbait title.
I was just trying to tell them.
And that's your mistake right there. You can't fight everybody. Understand that.
Is merge boot ranking coming soon? Which merge boot ranking?
She just wants order. Cooperation is the name of the game.
I'll see what I can do.
PRN Gamer says she's desperate to come back. Yeah, from what I understand, she is like she kind of burned her relationship with MTV, right? Or like I think she I forgot what happened again. It was like something like she demanded pay or something for something, and that pissed them off or something. Like I know she like burned her relationship with production in some way, to where like that's why she's not coming back at this point.
This is bad. What are we gonna do?
When you say Claire, you're not talking about BB23 Claire. Which Claire are you talking about then?
Turn on me like that.
David, hey.
And a Wu Cass final 2, who would I vote for? Probably Wu. Just because I think Cass is so actively bad, I'm never voting for Cass.
I should have seen it coming, but I dropped the ball.
Like I think Cass plays like such a terrible game on Kagyan. Like I can't imagine where I would vote for Cass.
I keep doing this.
Like I don't think like unless somehow Morgan got to the end,
you gotta stand and face your problems.
From Final 10 and got to the end of Cass, then like at that point I'll probably vote for Cass. I think literally everyone else I would vote for.
Listen to me carefully.
That person over Cass.
I'm most worried about Kate and Gabe. They gotta survive, no matter what.
You don't have to worry. They're safe for now. We have to get them out of town. Both of us.
Melissa and Brittany said in the video they want to come back. Again, not surprising at all for Melissa. Brittany, I feel like, is one of these people that probably they don't care about anymore, if I were to guess.
All of us.
Yeah, like, I don't get the sense that production loves Brittany.
You never give up on anybody.
To where, like, she was obviously on her first season. She had a bit of an underdog run, I feel like, because they brought her back. Then she had the showmance with Brad, and I feel like that's why they brought her back again. And then at that point, like, once that was done, it's like they don't have anything else. So they just stopped bringing her back.
I came here to talk.
BBCAN winner ranking. Dane, Kevin. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's gonna have to be Kevin. What's his last name again? Is it? I forgot. Is it Kevin Jacobs or Kevin Jones? I already forgot. It's Kevin Jacobs. Okay. Yeah, because now we're gonna have to go last name, aren't we? Yeah. Dane, then Kevin Jacobs. Yeah, Paris. John. Yeah, I mean that's probably the ranking. I'm very conflicted on Ty. Right, I think Ty is like one of the hardest winners to rank, but I feel like that's probably where I lean. It's probably below John.
I should have been told about this.
David, you remember how many friends we lost?
Do I believe she cheated on Brad? Probably not. Where it doesn't seem like, I mean, it doesn't seem like she did.
The people deserve to hear a full explanation of your arrest.
And then?
Then you'll be replaced as head of security.
But like Paulie like openly says that he's lying to Brad about her cheating.
I know the laws, Joan. You're the one breaking them. David deserves a fair shot. He doesn't need to be replaced.
If he was as good as
Brittany got called for Spice Lies and Allies, but Klein Big Shoes moving. That's something.
Everyone's gonna see through your lies.
I wouldn't be opposed to a Brittany return. I think she's fine. She's obviously not like a top tier challenge person to where like I need to see Brittany back, but like I wouldn't be upset. I feel like I would rather have Brittany there than like
We'll debate
a whole bunch of
all
other
of
people
this
from
in
Spies,
the
Lies, and Allies.
Right now, David, I need to ask you some questions in private. Bring him with us.
Do I want Joss to come back? I wouldn't be opposed to it either. I think Joss is like kind of underrated in Vendettas for him being a good character. And like he's pretty dull after that, but like at least in War of the Worlds 2, it's like at least he's like this like doofusy sort of strategic figure in that season. But yeah, like I wouldn't be opposed to a Joss return. Don't want to see Nicole Ramos? Again, another one that's like kind of in the same mold of Brittany. Or like if she would have come back, fine. I'm not like dying to see Nicole Ramos come back, especially because like same thing with Brittany, that I don't think either of them can win a challenge season. But I think they bring interesting TV. And actually, to be fair, I feel like Nicole Ramos probably brings better TV than Brittany. Where I feel like the good TV that Brittany brought really stemmed from her relationship with Brad. And like I don't know, I mean, to be fair, it wouldn't be surprising if Brittany hooked up with people on the challenge moving forward. But like I don't know how often that sort of situation would happen for her. So I don't know. Rogan is someone I would like to see back. I think Rogan is like a great villain for the show. That I think it does feel a bit lacking once he's gone now after Total Madness. Especially considering he's not someone that's like in the Big Brother alliance or anything, to where I do feel like it would be a net positive for him to come back. Depends on the winners of the challenge. I mean, there's a lot of winners.
From this bench.
What am I doing here?
Could squeeze through there.
Oh yeah, Josh's purge in Winners of War in World of Worlds 2 is like one of my favorite moments in all of the challenge. Like I think it's fucking hilarious. Is it that? No. What am I looking for? Oh, that. Okay. Keeping Josh was the right move. JL would have annihilated Kevin. I don't know for sure that JL would have annihilated Kevin. But again, like at the end of the day, it's like keeping Josh or JL. It didn't really matter. It more so was how they handled the situation. I think by the end of that week, it was the suboptimal move. Because at that point, you had Josh and Betty working together at Final Four.
These bars are loose. Help me pry them off.
Okay, the fucking lighting's fucked. Whatever.
I can't do it. Can you help?
But yeah, like I think Jace is someone that probably for sure wins Final Four veto or Final Four HOH. I don't know if she wins Final Four veto. And even if she does, they're voting out Betty at 4 anyway, so they're getting the 3. So at that point, Kevin's getting the 3 with both Jason and Helena, who are both taking him to the end. So at that point, he's guaranteed to make it to the end, to where he for sure wins against Helena, which he has a 2/3 chance of getting to the end with. And he even then like has a chance against Jace. To where like there definitely was just inherent respect for Kevin's game. To where like I think he could definitely argue it if they were to get to the end together. And even then, like, I think Jace is worse in competitions than Josh. I mean, I think Josh has, like, clearly showed that he's super strong in trivia-based competitions.
While they hide out.
Well, Jace isn't as strong. To where, like, I think she's on the same level as Kevin, while, like, I think Josh is, like, slightly above Kevin. So I still think at the end of the day, it's still probably the suboptimal move. Especially at the point that they were at, where they had already, like, burned Josh and pushed him back towards Betty.
I looked everywhere.
So someone posted that Ty broke the jury management is most important narrative, while Kevin broke the competitions are most important narrative back to back. I don't think Ty broke it. I think it's just that, like, because it's like he has poor jury management, but like Brayden didn't have good jury management either. It's like they were both bad to the point where like they didn't care who won between the two. So he said, okay, whoever wins the final HOH wins the season. Like, I don't think Ty broke like the jury management is important narrative. And really, I think Kevin, if anything, further supports that the jury management is most important, considering how strong his jury management was across this season.
She's wrong about this. She'll see. Convince her.
And also, I don't think Kevin broke the competitions are the most important narrative. Also, considering it's really like it's not something that you're gonna see that often. Like obviously, like in terms of the narrative as like that's the end all be all, then yeah. But like how many people were like truly believing that to begin with? Where I guess like a lot of like modern fans do, but obviously like a lot of old school fans of like Will and Dan and like Daniel Reyes, like obviously always knew that wasn't necessarily 100%, but it still is a much easier game to win if you are able to win competitions than if you're not. It's like the most ideal way to play Big Brother is to be able to win competitions. But it is very impressive for people that aren't able to win competitions to still be able to navigate through the game.
Let's get in there.
Are we talking about Delisa? Yeah, that's a thing. That she made up. I mean, she like said that her and her husband are breaking up, and that get the full story by following my Patreon. And then like on Patreon, she just says that we broke up for a little bit, but then we got back together or something dumb like that. So that's the thing.
That was close.
I'm way higher on BBCAN10 than 9 at this point. Yeah, BBCAN10 to me is like debatably the best season ever at this point. Best season ever across all of Big Brother. Like, not just BBCAN. Which, to be fair, BBCAN 5 was already my favorite BB season across everything at this point. But, yeah, I think BBCAN 10 probably passes it. But again, like, obviously we're so close to, Are we just getting to the fucking title card? Okay, fine. I thought we were way further than that, but either way, but yeah, what was I talking about? BBCAN10, yeah, like, obviously we're, like, so close to the season to where it's obviously, could be just recency bias, but I do feel like, this is an all-time great season. Should Rich and Grodner take notes? Partially. I mean, I don't think, like, BB23 had all the makings of a great season. And like, while I do think the High Rollers room was a terrible twist, outside of that, like, I think it had all the workings to make a great season. It's just that, like, obviously the cookout happened. And because that, like the kind of the gameplay, like, took a back seat. But I think, like, with 24 coming up, I think it, like, if you were to ask me, like, is 24 going to be a good season or a bad season? I'm going to say it's a good season. Like, I feel like all the pieces are there to have a good Big Brother season nowadays. Like, where, like, I think casting was very strong for BB23. To where, like, considering, I mean, it's the same casting producer now that does Big Brother and Survivor. Survivor cast has been very strong as well. It's like, I have faith in the casting of the show at this point. So, I mean, like, I think it'll probably be a good season. We'll see. Oh yeah, like, this is probably the biggest reaction I've had to, like, anything on reality TV in a very long time. The moment where Josh cuts Betty. Like, I genuinely was not expecting it. Again, I talked about it last night. I thought there was a chance that Kevin could get in Josh's ear and get him to flip against Betty, but I never thought it was actually happening. And really, none of this episode, like, made me think it was happening either. So see it actually happen, like, it did throw me by surprise. Yeah, that is something with the season. It's like, it's weird that the season started off where we had, oh wait, I didn't mean to do that. God damn, I'm an idiot. Whatever. But yeah, the season did start off with a lot of, like, varied comp results, but then eventually it gets to the point where it's like, it is a Marty and Gino back and forth between HOHs, which is kind of weird.
Hey,
And then at the end here, we're like, and I do find it weird how, like, despite the fact that they tried to make more equal comps early on, they kind of left the end game the same. Where really, like, from the, like, triple eviction on, like, it's been all, like, standard BB-Can comps, like, what they have been. Where, like, very, like, certain comps are very physical, you have a lot of memorization of, like, days and stuff like that. Yeah, really did not like the comp structure of the end game here, but at least the first, like, 2/3 was better.
Told you we couldn't trust him.
I'm sorry.
What's BB-Can do to prevent steamrolls? I think one, casting a lot of people that don't know what the fuck they're doing. I think that's part of it. I think the change in the veto is one for the positive, to where the HOH can't play in it. I think that changes things up.
Have you guys even looked out the window?
I mean, really, I feel like most of it's the casting,
Go
though.
look for yourself.
Because, I mean, it hasn't been that long since we had a steamroll. Like, it was literally just BB-Can 7, and, like, BB-Can 8 was on the road to another steamroll.
Holy shit.
Javi, even
So, yeah, like, it's really a very, very recent
you're not gonna
thing.
be able to go anywhere.
Look at that. We should have left when we
First
had
part
a
of the final
chance.
HOH was infuriating to watch. From what aspects?
I'm sorry.
I found most of it boring.
Should've left with
Mainly because, like, I was coming into it, like, I was like, okay, Josh is gonna win this. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, obviously Josh is gonna win part 1, and then Kevin wins, which is, like, surprising.
I, for one, feel a whole lot safer with a few more guns
Is
to protect ourselves.
Roadblock the best
Is that the
BBUS
smartest move to
twist?
make right now?
Which one's
That's
Roadblock?
crazy.
Is that the name
We're
of
really
the?
gonna make it out of here. We have to be ready to shoot our way out.
Wait.
Right?
Yeah, right. Good.
You two have fun with
Yeah, I
that.
think it's. Are you talking about Road
Dad showed me.
Kill? Is that what it was called?
Good idea. A small group should go.
Yeah, Roadkill. That's the one I was thinking.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So that's what I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Yeah, BB-18. I think it's one of the better, like, third nom
Just be careful.
twists, but it's like ideally it just wouldn't be there. Like, I mean, I think the like, ideally it just wouldn't be there.
Look,
Yeah, it's
Javi, I don't
Roadkill.
know if you heard us, but
So I was confused
I
at
think I
first.
fucked it up with Eleanor.
We can talk on the way.
I think the biggest issue with US is strong players getting together. Yeah, I mean, the problem with US is the meta. Is that, like, everyone knows the meta of Big Brother US. Everyone knows the strategy of getting all the strong competition players together and then just running the
Don't worry
game.
about it.
Just
And, like, we've seen that pretty much every season since Derek's
too much going on
done it,
already,
right?
Javi, come on.
I guess, like, 17 you can debate it, but, like, even then, like, I mean,
I'm sorry.
it's not too dissimilar, like, the structure that Vanessa sets up by, like, week 3. Like, that's not, or I guess it was week 2, wasn't it? But that's not too dissimilar for what Derek did.
That's all any of us have left anymore.
Obviously, Paulie directly does what Derek did, and obviously it blows up by the end of it, which causes, like, that end game to be really strong. But first, like, 2/3 is Paulie running the game. Obviously, Paul runs the game, BB-19 that way. Tyler runs the game, BB-20 that way. The Grateful, or whatever they're fucking called, try to do it in BB-21, but then blows up, and that's what caused the end game to be good there. But again, like, I think it comes down to casting. I think it comes down to having players that aren't good enough to stay together. Or, like, I think you need players that are more self-interested.
What's that mean?
And again, may not have, like, all the game knowledge in the world to, like, know that, like, it's their best move to stick together. But it's like, I think every season at least tries it, right? Because, like, even BBCAN10 here, like, at least tried to have that sort of power structure come together. That's where, like Kyle was the center of that power structure. It's just that he blows it up. And again, a lot of that's from, like, the type of players that you cast. So yeah, I do feel like it's probably more of a casting thing. Where it's like, I think every season tries it. But what makes a good season is the ones where those alliances fail.
You make them in a split second, and then have to carry them the rest of your life. You understand?
Yeah, I do find that funny too. Yeah, they never had the surviving nominee open a door again, which was really dumb. How much did Kevin win again? It was like, was it like $500? wasn't not even that.
She won't turn us in.
But it was like a ridiculously small amount of money. So we're like, yeah, it's just a waste.
And we trust him, right?
Yeah.
Then we should be okay.
Cookout didn't even win excessive amount of competitions like the committee. Yeah, I mean, it's more so about the power structure of getting the majority of the house. And then, like, I am too fair, this is like also kind of like more of a brigade. I guess the Cookout's like more in line with the brigade, where it's like you get a core group together and then make each of the core group have parachute alliances that you get them to work with that core group without knowing that that core group exists. So it's just kind of like a lesser version in a way of the of like the Derek Bomb Squad Detonators-esque alliance. We need a woman to file too in the future. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? Holy shit, actually, I did not think about that. Yeah, it's been since BBCAN 6 then. I didn't realize that. Yeah, because we had 2 guys here. We had Brayden and Ty last season. Then we had Dane and Anthony, BBCAN 7. So yeah, that's kind of insane. What's the gender breakdown on winners now? So you got Jillian, Sarah. Again, Nikki and Phil I'm going to consider as 1, not 2. And just Paris? Is it 6-3? I didn't realize it was so lopsided.
It's down here.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
The guns are through that door.
Where was Survivor at this point? It was definitely better, right? Because like Survivor had a lot of women early on, right?
Locked. No time to look for a key either.
It was like 5-3 at the time of All Stars, I think.
Have to do this the hard way.
Yeah. I guess it was 2 guys in a row though, so I guess that kind of makes it a bit different. But either way, what was BBUS? BBUS had, again, not including Eddie because it doesn't really count. You had guy, girl, guy, girl, guy. I guess it does become lopsided too, actually. Yeah, actually it's 6-3 also in BBUS up until BB10. 7-3 if you include Eddie. Why does BBS have dumb twists for first 3 or 4 weeks? Because they need to fill out the Sunday night episode. Because again, that's something that BBCAN doesn't do because they have all these sponsorships that they need to waste time on. That's why they have like Wendy's and they have the winners thing and like all that stuff. Like that's essentially their version of the twist, because like essentially the twists for BBUS are essentially just things to waste time on the show, or things that have like more content for the show, because they don't have faith in their cast to bring enough entertainment to fill out an episode.
Just you and me.
Are players back home yet?
The uncle nephew one.
I don't think they're home as in like they've flown home yet, but I think they're out on their own, I would guess. Like to where like I think they're probably all in like staying at like the same hotel probably. But I think they're free to do whatever they want. Though I'm assuming tomorrow a lot of them have exit press. So yeah, that's the thing. And then obviously there's going to be after parties and everything. So there's definitely I think they're going to probably stay in Toronto for a little bit. Or like when they start the Sunday episode showing stuff that they missed out from the live show. I mean, yeah, that's a cool thing. I mean, they do that a lot in Big Brother. They used to do it more back in the day. Okay, I wasn't looking at the screen. Especially like when it came to like double evictions. They used to like usually spend like the episode after doubled, like spending a lot of it focused around the events of the double. Which obviously, like, this season BBCAN did, but, yeah, it did feel like, in general, they didn't do it as often in recent years. Is Netflix dying? Probably. Oh, fuck, did I miss it again? God damn it. Yeah, I literally did. I'm looking at the replay. Alright, whatever. When will Survivor US stop having overly scripted DRs? Never. Because it makes it easier for them to make the show. Because again, the point of the scripted DRs is because they already have a storyline they have set up. Like, they already know, essentially, there's people that plan out what the episode is going to be. And once they know what the episode's going to be, they need, like, these lines from the DR to support that story that they're going to tell. So they have to have the player. So essentially, they get the players to say the lines they need to, like, fill out the episode. And not necessarily that they're, like, fabricating a story. Because, like, yeah, I think BBS, until, like, this last... Like, BBCAN10 was very good at having an accurate edit. But up until this point, like, I feel like BBS has been mostly accurate in their edits. Again, maybe, like, giving certain people a bit too much credit at points, but mostly accurate. But still, obviously, like, a lot of, like, the structuring of the episode and, like, what goes where and, like, all that sort of stuff is obviously planned to where, like, they just ask the people in the DR to just say what they want them to say just so they can fill in the gaps.
Let me see that wound. It's really bleeding. You're gonna need that.
Josh confirmed they're leaving for 38 in 3 weeks. Is it still that long?
Hey, Lingard and David are close friends. We can count on him to help you.
Medical facilities right nearby.
What's the most fabricated edit and a player's gotten?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Ali, BB6, BBCAN6 is definitely up there. Kevin Martin, BBCAN3 is up there. There's probably a lot that I'm just forgetting. I don't know. I'm Victoria, BBCAN9.
Not these, but some models. Javi,
Was there one on BBCAN7?
doesn't see these guns.
Really, I feel like it was the BBCAN7 is one where, like, they just didn't show Anthony enough.
I'll keep watch with Ava.
Okay.
I feel like they showed Corey too much, if I remember right. And they gave, like, Corey credit for things that Anthony was doing, if I remember right. I might be wrong on that.
Clem?
Yeah, what, BBCAN... Yeah, BBCAN6 again. You get Ali getting too much credit. You get Johnny getting no credit.
Just need to get it cleaned up.
You surprised me.
You get Hamza getting too much credit. That's another one. Hamza's edit was a bit inaccurate.
So did I. But I still need to talk about AJ with Lingard.
BBCAN5. Oh, BBCAN4, you got Cassandra. Forgot about Cassandra.
Something tells me Lingard doesn't care what you're doing.
He's been out of it.
And probably Tim also.
He's alive.
Can I see your message? Which one?
I can stitch that for you. I can't promise it'll look great once it heals.
It must have given Danny a good edit on 22 because you kept mentioning she was in trouble the whole season. Yeah, I mean, that's probably... I mean, like, I don't know if it's necessarily a good edit. I think they just didn't show her. Where, like, I don't think they were, like, showing Danny as being this, like, mastermind. I think they just didn't bother to show Danny being in danger.
I'm fine.
I'm trying to look up the DR chart real quick.
I know it's
like, how much content did Danny get?
I traveled with women before, and they all had it.
Yeah, Danny, like, got a bit of a subdued edit for, like, the first half of her run.
I just don't understand.
So, yeah, I suspect it's probably more of just, like, yeah, they didn't show her that much. Yeah, because, like, they didn't talk a lot about Tyler, like, the Tyler-Danny rivalry until it was, like, absolutely necessary, I feel like, which is when, like, she won HOH. What's wrong with Cassandra on BBCAN4? She's a mediocre player, probably. Like, a lot of the, like, she gets into a lot of sticky situations largely due to her own actions. What's inaccurate about Kevin's BBCAN3 edit? Almost everything. He was not a good player. He was in a lot of danger for a lot of the game. And also, like, a lot of times where they make him look like he's, like the point where, like, they make it look like, oh, he was gonna nominate Naya or whatever, but, like, he was never actually gonna do that.
up. Talk to me.
Oh, yeah, Brittany's that is probably a bit. I don't know. Like, did they show Brittany as like a strategic mastermind though? I don't remember. If like Brittany got like too much strategic credit necessarily, I think she got like underdog like content, and that made her likable. Is Danny evicting Ian over Tyler one of the dumbest moves ever? It's not one of the dumbest moves ever in the sense that like it didn't cost her the game necessarily. Really was like, because like her game was already in the dumps before that. Like Tyler was already going to target Danny coming into that week anyway. And like already Cody and Enzo were like already prepared. Well, Enzo wanted to get rid of Danny. Cody was like already prepared to lose Danny.
Cody.
But yeah, like everyone was like planning on Danny going home that week. So it's like, it's not like she worsened her position. I mean, she did worsen her position, but it's not like she had a good position coming into it, I should say. It just like further cemented that she's in a bad position. But yeah, it's not a good move.
Well, these could come in handy.
Did I watch all? Yeah, I did. Did I not talk about this? I did finish Cobra Kai season 4. I already have very little memory of what happens. I generally don't remember a lot of it at this point. I remember, what's his character name? I don't even remember the character name.
Here we go.
Or is, like... Alright, let's look this up. Martin Cove is the actor name, right? Yeah, what's his name? Kreese, John Kreese. Yeah, I know he got arrested at the end. I remember that. Outside that, I don't really remember much. Do I think there's anyone on Survivor who's gotten more of a mastermind at it but actually play mediocre on the island? Hi. I think that's the first person that comes to mind right away. I mean, realistic. I think Survivor is much tougher to know because, like, obviously we don't have feeds of the show. Like, we don't know, like, exactly what happened. But, like, if I'm basing it on, like, how I analyze the game and everything, I think Hai is probably an example. Where, to be fair, I think it's like also a situation where like Hai was looked at positively on the island too. So like I think it's like it's not necessarily like Survivor's editing them improperly. It's more so that like everyone kind of has a misread on Hai's game. Or, like I don't think Hai's played a good game. Like I think Hai's played a pretty terrible game. And like I don't even think he's that good of a player. But, like, obviously the edit propels him as, like, a really big player. And it seemed like everyone on the island looked at him as a big player. But I don't think he's done a single good thing on the season outside of, like, create the concept of this, like, super alliance that comes together. But even then, like, that was an alliance that was not beneficial for him. Where, like, he's he's very clearly on the bottom of that alliance. By the way, he did do exit press, but, where, his plan was to go to end with Omer and Drea. It's like, what the fuck kind of plan is that? Like, that's your endgame plan? Which, too, fair. I mean, I think that shows you, like, how much, like, people didn't see, Omer at the time of how big of a player he was. But, like, what the fuck? Like, what a terrible fucking endgame strategy. Based on what we were being shown. Like, for all we know, like, maybe Omer and Drea were, like, massive goats. But still, that sounds fucking terrible. Like, that was his endgame strategy.
Thank you for, all that.
I know, I'm not...
Yeah, the idea Hai had was like, I mean, like, it's bad, but, like, it's mostly inoffensive. Like, really, for me, it's Hai. Like, I just think he gets super lucky with the Jenny vote. Where, that happened, like, he wins out on that round and gets into a good position due to absolutely nothing that he actually does. Like he literally is in a position where like he switches his vote, but like his switch vote shouldn't have mattered, and like he didn't think it, like from his point of view he shouldn't have thought it was going to matter because like he didn't know that Mike and Chanel had lost their votes, and like 100% for sure did not know Mike had lost his vote, to where like him switching his vote should not have mattered in any scenario. So like that's the thing he gets extremely lucky on. And also the fact that Daniel just like gives up the negotiation right away. Like again, nothing to do with what Hai actually did. So really in that point, it's like, it's essentially him not messing it up after Daniel gives up the negotiation. And after that, he's automatically put in a good position due to how like Daniel blew up his game to where Daniel and Chanel are going to go after each other and how they're blatantly on the bottom at that point. So it's like, again, it's him not messing it up, but he's not doing anything that well. At the merge, he votes out Lydia, his number one ally. And he does so to be part of an alliance that he's inherently already on the bottom of. He votes out Chanel, another potential ally, immediately after that. And then he votes out Rox against Mike's best interest, against Mike's, against what Mike wants to do, in a position where it ends up burning Mike, to where like he burns his relationship with him. So it's like there's literally like nothing truly positive I could say about High's game. And what's funny is he's still number one in the player ranking. He's still number one in the player ranking out of the people booted so far. But I still think, I've said this before, I don't think this is a good cast of players. Like, I think Survivor 42 is like mostly mediocre players here. I really think only Omer is the only good player on this cast. Maybe Lindsay. Maybe Drea. But I really feel like Omer's the only like actually good player here.
Is he okay?
And again, I don't think Omer's winning, realistically.
Still not bitten, little guy.
So I think at the end of the day, this is not going to be a great cast, gameplay-wise.
Looked so natural.
This could be a good year for Canadian winners. I mean, I think you've pretty much locked it up for 42. It's either Omer or Marianne to me. Both Canadians, so you've got it there. I mean, if we're moving back to 41, you obviously had Erica, and then you have Kevin.
You're the only mama he's got now.
Yeah, it's truly season of terrible HOHs, even the final 3-1. Yeah. I mean, even the final 4-1. I mean, who had a fucking good HOH this season? Did anyone?
Is a hell of a motivator, though.
I get maybe Betty.
That kind of love.
But it didn't start off well. Like, it mostly like ends up going well by the end of it. But it's like, it's not because like she played it that well. She actually plays it poorly by putting up Josh to begin with. So I think we're in a position where, yeah, Herman's probably the best played HOH week one.
A long time ago.
Yeah, and even like Herman, like, but then again, like he was always gonna burn his relationship with someone by just nominating people. But yeah, he does like have Jess coming after him for the rest of the season.
It's no use surviving out here, hoping that Wellington will take us in someday.
I think you have to give High some credit for having the social awareness to recognize that Daniel gave him some leverage to send Jenny home. Do you? Shouldn't that be fucking obvious? Like, at the point where Daniel is saying, I'm not going to Rocks right away, it's like, what the fuck else do you think he's gonna do? It's like, do you have to give him some credit for that? It's like, again, like, I'm giving him credit for not messing it up. But, like, I think that's all the credit you can really give him in terms of, like, I don't think you can really give him much credit for, like actually making something happen there.
I'm sure it helped you too. Life doesn't mean much without people you can relate.
Yeah, I already mentioned Herman had a good HOH week one.
Sarita always said, family.
But again, like everyone else had a pretty bad. Like, what's the second best? Is it Marty week 2? Despite that not even being a good week for him, but at least he comes out of the week like with Kyle and Gino as like really solid allies. It like gets replaces Moose in the what was it, 4 Horsemen, what they called themselves.
We're family, Kenny. All of us.
Still think cutting JL was Betty's fatal flaw.
All right.
Should have got rid of Kevin and Helena. I don't think that's the fatal flaw. I think the fatal flaw is getting rid of Helena over Kevin. I mean, to be fair, though, Josh was probably never taking her to the end, realistically. Because, like, at that point, like, Josh had already been, like, again, we don't know how much work Kevin put in the last few days, but, like, Kevin had already done a lot of work on Josh, telling him that Betty's going to win if she gets to the end. To where, like, I would not be surprised if Josh had always, like planned on cutting Betty at 3. To where, if that's the case, then, like, yeah, I guess at that point we're talking about JL, but then JL was never taking Betty to the end. Like, really, I just don't feel like anyone was taking Betty to the end. Outside of maybe Josh. Which obviously he doesn't. Is Omer turning High against Mike a mastermind moment? Do you mean turning Mike against Hai? If that's the case, then yes. If we're talking about Hai against Mike, we haven't. Okay, you switched it later. But yeah, like, I mean, like, suppose again, like, if Hai was taking Omer to the end, then like, and not taking Mike to the end, then like, that's obviously a massive pro for Omer that he was able to build that relationship with Hai to where Hai was willing to cut Mike along the way. Why do you think Moose and her mom are so happy to see Betty being evicted?
Really glad.
I don't know. Again, we'll see when it comes to jury, like when they talk to the jury. I do wonder, like, again, was Betty gonna, like, were they hoping for a Kevin and Josh final too? Or is that just Moose and Herman to just react like that to everything? I feel like they pretty much do.
Sense to you one day, Clem. You'll realize David did what he needed to do for AJ.
Josh, we're taking her over JL though? Probably. But again, that means that we're in a final 3 scenario of Josh, Betty, JL. I don't think that was ever that likely. Because, like, no matter what, like, JL or Josh were going home at 4 then, right? Like, unless, like, Josh won HOH, JL won veto. Like, that's the only way they're both getting the 3. Like, I don't think they were ever, like, both getting the 3 together. Unless the comps worked out that way. No, JL said she was taking Kevin to the end, post-eviction. That she thought Kevin was the biggest goat, so she was going to take Kevin to the end. And if not Kevin, then Helena. Who's number 1 in power rankings? It's Omer, then Marianne. But I think a lot of that just comes from, like, it's like realistically, I would have Marianne 1. But this is more so, like, theoretically than, like, actuality in terms of the edit. Where, like, I feel like we still need a bit more from Marianne to truly have her at 1. Considering Omer doesn't have any blatant flaws. Like, I think the flaws are there in terms of, like, if you look at the themes of the season, the holes are there. But it's not, like, a blatant flaw in terms of, like, the edit's never undermined Omer. Well, they have undermined Marianne in the pre-merge, so I would have Omer 1. But realistically, if you were to make me, like if you were to put a gun to my head and say who's going to win this season, I think it's Marianne at this point.
For me, staying alive
was Kevin taking Betty over Josh? We don't know.
As much as they trusted me.
I would guess no. Because I think Kevin seemed to believe that Betty was the jury threat. Like, even though that was, like, the story he was telling Josh to try to get Josh to take him to the end, I think he actually believed it by the end. And, like, by the way that him and Josh were, like, joking around during the HOH comp, I suspect that they both already agreed to take each other to the end by that point.
Every time I would look at AJ.
Did Kevin think he was losing? I think he did.
Helping me.
I don't get why Hai voted out an obvious goat over Mike if he didn't plan on taking Mike to the end. I mean, like, I get why he keeps around Mike at the Roxroy vote. Is that what we're talking about? He's like, I think you got to keep Mike around at that point. I mean, Mike is still someone that is under the assumption that he's one of your allies.
That's who you are.
Well, like, he has no connection to Roxroy.
Please. It's what makes you special.
I think the question is, why didn't he vote out Romeo?
Okay, I promise. You're a tough kid.
Well, the next episode's start of the downfall of Omer? I mean, it could be.
Back before anyone notices I'm gone.
But,
those good
we'll see.
people you mentioned before, the ones you said would be out there, well...
Josh is the 4th gay man who has lost in a final 2 in a row? Oh, well, when we're adding in US? Then, yeah. That's something I haven't even thought about, yeah. Yeah, because you got Josh Braden, and then you got Todrick, and you have Big D. So,
you're going to be...
Ironically, the only one I would have personally voted for over their opponent was Todrick. I love how, like, I have, like, almost no memory of Celebrity Big Brother 3 at this point. I feel like Celebrity Big Brother 3 is just, like, flown over my head at this point.
There's things I have to stay
It's probably for the better, realistically. You think Kevin would have taken Betty? I suspect he would have taken Josh.
So,
because I suspect that Kevin thinks he loses against both of them.
I think I'm getting better.
Nice work.
Thanks.
And, like, considering he had a better relationship with Josh, and also, again, like I feel like he did think that this like underdog story for
still have to ask Lingard about
for
AJ.
Betty was like a real thing. I think he would have taken Josh to the end, especially considering how there have been people that have been blatantly bitter at Josh when they left.
Javier.
So I think he would have gone Josh, but again, we won't know until tomorrow at
Any
least.
chance he got out too? I hate to think about what Joan might do to him.
Romeo's also a ghost, so you get why to keep him. Yeah, but Romeo's also a person that's coming after you. Like coming after Hai, I should say. So it's like, why is Hai keeping around this person who's openly coming after him?
I don't deserve an answer at this point.
Why do you care if David got out? He deserves
I feel like Mike being fully ready to vote out Jonathan isn't talked about enough.
I know he's the
Is
reason
Mike
I lost
fully
AJ.
ready to vote out Jonathan?
AJ recovered. David was the one who stepped
Did he say that? When did he say that?
personal responsibility.
Omer is willing to vote Jonathan. I know that.
It's a good thing.
But did Mike ever say that?
I really doubt he was a positive influence.
David's the reason the kid's better off now than he's ever been. You can be as mad as you
Yeah, is Celebrity Big Brother 3 gonna be like one of the most forgotten seasons of like Big Brother ever? I feel like almost no one is gonna talk about Celebrity Big Brother 3 moving forward.
Clem can be the judge of that.
Is that in the last episode? I must have missed it. Star 42's overrated? Yeah, I've been open. I'm not enjoying Star 42.
when I first saw him.
That was because he was sick. He would have stayed sick.
Again, like I think it had a good start. I think the change up in the editing style was definitely a breath of fresh air. But I think after that, I just don't care about a lot of the gameplay of this season.
That's what this is about, then.
Yeah, editing's really
I
strong.
want to know where the boy is.
Like it's a very balanced edit. It's an edit where like we pretty much know everybody on the cast. Like no one's getting like a purple edit.
What do you want?
I'm gonna rewatch the episode.
I want you to inject this into me.
Yeah, 'cause I don't remember Mike saying he was gonna take out Jonathan. I know Omer mentioned he was gonna take out Jonathan, or like he didn't want to go to the end with Jonathan and Mike. And then Mike mentioned, yeah, that he didn't want to go to the end of High, but I don't remember him mentioning taking out Jonathan.
My life, other people.
I feel like at this point we know where everybody where everybody is last time. Where last time we didn't know, but Erica and Heather. I mean, by this point we kind of did, but yeah, like by time of the merge, even like we knew pretty much everyone's relationships, or at least most people. I will say like obviously Lindsay got a mostly like it got the purplest edit of the bunch. And still, like, we don't have, like, a solid grasp on her relationships. And also, Marianne doesn't either, but I feel like that's probably more purposeful.
I've been looking for too long.
All right.
Where, I think Marianne, it plays into her themes of being, like, this weirdo that's gonna win.
Where is he?
Because it's like we haven't had any true establishment scenes of Marianne's relationships with other people. Despite the fact that it's clearly there, like her and Tori are like we're very clearly close. Yeah, it's like never actually mentioned on the show.
Don't forget
It's like I feel like it's more of a thematic thing with Marianne. We'll see.
I don't want to become
What mid-season of Survivor do I think would be really good if the editing was balanced?
Jones looking for you.
I mean, like, what's like? Are you talking about just what season in general? Like, I mean, I think like Edge of Extinction is a season that could have done better if it had a better edit. Millennials vs. Gen X had a wonky edit too. Ghost Island had a shit edit. Mind you, I'm not too fair. That one's mostly because the cast is shit. And 41 is obviously a big example.
Finally.
Oh, hey. Hi, Clementine.
We didn't really know Xander. Yeah, we didn't get to know Xander that much. Only people with complexity were Deshaun and Ricard. I mean, Tiffany had complexity, but she was gone, obviously. Evie had a lot of complexity, but she was
Good to see
also,
you.
or they were gone. Shan had a lot of complexity, but obviously they get voted out final 8. So I don't think it's like fair to say Deshaun and Ricard are the only people with complexity, though. Are we talking about like at the final 7? Then maybe, I mean, like, was it Erica had started to get complex content by that point, right? But yeah, like definitely not as a whole.
Just surprised to see you as oh hell.
Where yeah, I feel like 41's a season where like a lot of the more complex figures get taken out like mid merge.
So you got the guns, huh?
We got him all right.
So it's like you're left in the end game with a lot of like not as big names.
Save this one for you.
Like yeah, Deshaun and Ricard, and even Ricard, like Ricard was mostly like a middle of the road edit, right? For most of the season, it's like he got complexity here and there, but like he wasn't like his overall edit wasn't complex. Deshaun's was like really complex.
Thanks.
What took you so long?
But
We went to
yeah,
see Dr.
it's
Lingard.
definitely
At night?
just a weird season.
I'm kind of surprised
How
he
it was
was
edited.
sober. It's gotta be a stressful job.
Yeah, I'm looking at Edgic chart right now.
An entire community?
Yeah, I mean, like it's a weird season. By the time Final 7, yeah, it's pretty much just Deshaun's the only person that has an overall complex
You're right.
edit.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't joke about that sort of stuff. For all I know, this
Yeah, I
is
think
something
Ricard
he's
had
been dealing with
middle of
for
the
a
road
long time.
mixed. Erica had middle of the road. Xander had middle of the road. Heather had under radar.
Okay.
Danny had middle of the road.
Okay.
The sun will be rising in a few hours. Jones' people know we're holed up here, and
Sure.
they're gonna come looking for us. All of us.
For fuck's sake.
Maybe it's
Still
not as bad
can't
as
believe
you think.
Xander was supposed to be the biggest character from casual perspective. They get personal content until the finale. I don't know. Was Xander? Did they intend on Xander being that popular?
I know.
I do wonder. Like, did they intend on it?
Oh, thanks
Because
for
like
that, Javi.
Xander's not that entertaining.
Just cut.
So I don't know if that was like a purposeful thing or not.
How the fuck are we gonna put the brakes on this thing?
I guess like he was like an underdog, right? By the time the knowledge of power happened, beyond that, but yeah, I don't know if they were like intentionally trying to make him a fan favorite. I think he just ended up being so.
How do we do that?
Only one of the last 12 BBCAN finalists was a woman.
She'll be insulated from us and from anybody in Richmond who doesn't agree with what
So what, Misha? Is that who the one of the last 12
Can
is?
be effective. It's just awfully dangerous.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, even the US. Like we haven't had a finalist in the main season since Holly.
I don't know about the rest.
Yeah, that's kind of insane. I really didn't notice that.
We've got a truck, a big one.
Did Ricardo get CPN the episode they argued over the extra vote? I don't think so.
People are going to be patrolling these
Because
streets
what the
looking for us. How
episode they argued over? Oh wait, extra vote. That was the genie vote, right? So maybe. I was thinking it was the episode. I thought it was the merge episode. Which, to be fair, that also had them arguing, but I guess yeah, that was the previous episode that had more of it. Has any winner had a negative Edgic rating? Yes, a lot.
Steal that thing, nothing will be able to stop us.
Yeah, like Tony and Kakian was a major one. Richard Hatch. What, Jenna Maraska, I know.
How the hell did this happen?
I don't know. There's a lot, I think. I mean, not a lot, but like I think there's like probably 5 or 6.
It's not deep. It's just bled a lot. Besides, it's already.
I'm trying to look up. Oh fuck, I don't have it anymore. That's on my old computer. God damn it, I don't have the Edgic chart.
Got stabbed, okay? By one of the guards.
Thought you knew what you were doing.
You're still alive.
Yeah, I don't have all the Edgic charts anymore.
Can you take a look at this?
Oh, there we go. I found it. Not too. That wasn't too hard.
As long as he keeps it clean, it should be okay.
Would you guys stop making such a big deal about it? It happened. It's over. Move on already.
Let's see.
I'm just trying to make sure he's okay, Gabe.
What we need.
I mean, there's not that many in recent history, is there? You got Tony, you got Tyson, both got negative.
Just give me a gun and I'll do whatever. I know the town. I know what Dad's gonna be thinking.
Not that I don't appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, not that
the
many.
attitude, but I don't know if you're invited, little man.
I think I agree with Tripp.
Todd
Oh, this is bullshit.
got negative.
I'm not staying behind.
Gabe, take a breath.
He's my dad. I'm going.
It's going to be dangerous out there, and I don't want anyone else getting hurt.
Jenna Maraska. I think Jenna Maraska is the only one to not get CPN. Because like most get complex personality negative. Jenna got middle of the road negative, which is very bizarre. Brian got CPN.
Nobody here is gonna let you be a mark.
And then yeah, Rich Hatch
Your life is
got
precious.
CPN. So there's a lot of CPNs. There's like what, 5 or 6 CPNs, and then one middle of the road.
Back in the tunnel when he came after us.
Parvati did not get a negative edit. She got a toneless edit in Micronesia.
You little fucking asshole!
You don't scare me.
Sophie didn't get a negative rating either. She got toneless.
Killed him.
What the fuck, Javi?
Toneless middle of the road, I believe.
You murdered my friend? What the fuck did you do that for? You looked me in the eyes, man. You let me think the walkers.
Yeah, it makes a lot of them are for older winners. I mean, you got Rich, you got Brian, what was it, Todd and Jenna, right? We're all negative. It's like 4 of them pretty early on, and then it's like you got Tyson and Tony back to back.
Pretty fucking dangerous person to be around, Javi. First you kill my friend, then you get me and my friends on Jones' shit list.
I think you need to
I love how I have no clue what's going on in the game. I do because I played the game before, but like I have not paid attention to the game at all in the last like hour. Surprised Sophie isn't negative. I mean, like Sophie wasn't that present across the season. I think that's the thing that affects things.
Hell, we stick around you much longer.
Because I don't think the edit the thing is like when it comes to negative, that means that the edit is actively trying to show them as negative. Not the fact that they just like come off as negative. So like I think something like Albert, drop your damn stack or whatever, and then Jeff telling her you can't do that. Like that's something that has to be in the edit. I guess it doesn't have to be, but like that's not necessarily something that's like automatically okay. She's a negative because of that. Like they would have to like actively go out of their way to show them negative, which I don't think they do much of with Sophie. I think she has a couple negative episodes if I remember right. Oh no, actually she only has one, and that is the Dawn and Whitney boot episode. Oh no, that's when they get. Oh, that's when Cochran goes home. That's when Cochran gets voted out.
Gabe and Kate, you guys hang back here.
See, I think it's like when she's talking about was that Cochran doesn't deserve to be here and that sort of stuff, right?
You're punishing me because I told everyone what you did, right? Screw that. I'm going to get the truck.
What's the most overrated character on Survivor? I don't know. I think that's kind of a tough thing to think of.
Hey, Gabe, come on.
Yeah, so the 2 biggest lies this season were from the 2 finalists.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay.
Was Sophie actually trying to get Albert to help her? Yeah. No, I think she was serious. I think she 100% wanted Albert to help her. Because again, they were trying to beat Ozzy. Fuck, how long is this? I thought we were at the end of episode 4. Am I surprised BBCAN is trending on US Twitter? Well, that's cool if it is. Haven't paid attention. Why people hate Nicole Franzel? I think they just find her annoying and don't like that she plays this like rat floater game. Enter Spencer for what? For most overrated character? I've never thought of Spencer as like that great of a character, especially outside of Cagayan.
I'd say about 50-50.
So like he wouldn't be like overrated to me because I never rated him that high. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that Nicole doesn't work with the women.
Early risers. Come on, we gotta hurry and finish before more people wake up.
What are we gonna do?
We can't start the engine.
Fuck, a New Frontier's so boring.
Kate, you steer. The rest of us are gonna get behind the truck and push. See if we can't get some distance between us and them.
Oh, fuck, we're over 2 hours. Ugh, I want to end around now.
Ready.
Oh, we are towards the end, right? Yeah, because like she drives the truck into the thing, and that's what ends episode 4. So I mean, we still got a little bit, but I guess we'll finish episode 4. We'll do that. We're probably like 10, 15 minutes away. Oz's better than Nicole Franzel? In what way? I think in most ways, no.
Turns out you needed me after all, huh? I'm just saying.
You know I'm just trying to keep you safe, don't you?
Yeah, but...
But nothing.
The fact that Nicole actually made it to Final 3 on 22, what a fucking legend. I mean, it's definitely a surprise that she was able to make it that far. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you like look at like she came in with a decent amount of connections.
Couldn't find an ignition key.
So it's like realistically, it shouldn't have been that surprising. But yeah, you would have expected that she would have had a target on her back and she was like a former winner and everything.
Try not to shock yourself.
Shit. I'll need something to strip the wires.
Just trying to piss off Bryce.
You
Well,
left
that's
other
okay.
supplies lying around. Bet there would be some tools out there somewhere.
Just try to hurry, okay?
But yeah, so tomorrow morning's gonna be fun. I'm also gonna record the rest of the BBCAN review and also do the player ranking. I'm gonna get them both edited tomorrow because I won't have time. Well, I mean, I might have time, but like it would be a lot easier to get them both done tomorrow because both of them are like obviously the review's coming out on Saturday and then the player rankings coming out on Wednesday.
Almost there. Keep an eye out while I get it started, okay?
I'll check on the guys in the office.
Tell us who my favorite player is. It's probably not Ozza.
Okay. Here goes.
Yeah, I'm not that incentivized to piss off Bryce. Never seen someone face adversity like Nicole. Half the house was against her day one. She survived, though. What a player. I guess. I think Dan faced a lot more adversity in BB14.
My should help with this.
I mean, yeah, Gumball showed up for a lot of streams back in the day, as in like a few months ago. That's something. I still can't believe I've been streaming for like a year at this point.
The battery to the ignition.
Like I remember back in the day, like when again back in the day, as in a year ago, when I was playing like Death Stranding, and there was like literally just Sora Quill in chat. It's like no one showed up, which I just find funny in retrospect. Oh yeah, obviously favorite player is Jacob or Willie. Willie Hance is probably my favorite player, or probably Jen from BB9. Who I definitely did not just forget her last name.
Javi, hurry up.
People that actually hate Dan, though, they genuinely can't stand her as a human being, and she survived. I mean, like, I think Dan had it even worse, to where, like, he was looked at as too good of a player, and because of that, his team was targeted, because they were trying to get him out, and then... even after that, he had the anti-winner sentiment that no one wanted him to win, and then also had all the comps go against his best interest, to where he couldn't get rid of all the people he wanted to get rid of. Well, watched earlier, but you thought you had to pay to get Twitch? Well, that's something. I will say, like, that's something I've been thinking about more recently. Is like, should I have started streaming on YouTube? In retrospect, like again, I've always said this, and I always stand by that. I never would have streamed on the main channel. But like, I think in retrospect, like, maybe it would have been better for me to stream on the live channel instead of Twitch. But I feel like Twitch is just a lot more convenient to use. Like, I really don't like the like how streams work on YouTube, especially like again like considering my internet's been like inconsistent here and there, to where like once like a stream crashes and then you have to restart and all that stuff, it's like just kind of fucking pain on YouTube. Because like on Twitch it's fine because like the stream, like if your stream crashes, it's still on your page. So like when you start stream again, like it'll just start like you don't have to go anywhere. While YouTube essentially like ends it as if it's a video, and then like you won't really know if like the person goes live again and everything. Like it's more of a pain in that sense. And obviously just outside of that, there's a lot of like just better like quality of life things with Twitch when it comes to streaming.
He likes her.
Well, I probably should have done YouTube, but whatever.
That in the middle of all this, they find time to flirt with each
Why
other.
not do it on the main channel? Because I don't want the stream to like a lot of the people that would like watch the stream on the main channel.
It's so normal, you know? Like
where like I feel like if I were to do it on the main channel, that'll probably get like more of the trolls to show up to the stream, which is like I'd rather just not deal with that. So like I feel like if you're going on Twitch, more than likely that means that like you actually cared enough to like to like go beyond that initial step. Where it's like obviously like I just think like anyone that has watched my content in the past would be able to find a stream that's on the main channel.
No, you don't.
Where like, again, like I feel like the more negative presences won't make their way to Twitch, or even again like doing on the second channel would have been fine too.
It's right back to the fight. I just wish he could have had a childhood, you know? I wish I could have.
For sure, you only found out I had Twitch because you clicked on the description. Yeah, I mean, I don't promote it that much. Like I really only promote it like at the beginning of like certain seasons, like when I do like cast assessments and stuff. And then like I think I did it for the last few mid-season power rankings.
Right by my side
but
all this time.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the channel thing. The I don't even know what you call it.
You didn't run away.
The header, whatever it is, on the main channel, and then yeah, it's in the description of all the videos nowadays. Like I really like don't care how many people follow me on Twitch. I'm kind of fine with where Twitch is at this point. To where if it just stays like this, I'm kind of just fine with that. Like I don't plan on Twitch becoming a bigger thing for me. It's just a fun thing to talk about, like the latest events of reality TV and that sort of stuff.
Maybe some of them haven't meant anything.
While also playing a game that I would have probably played at some point anyway.
Before whatever happens tomorrow happens, I need you to know.
Yeah, we'd have like more Bryces. Like who would want that?
And I know the fact that David is back in our lives now makes this whole thing a little more.
Yeah, I'm already getting like that's something too that I find funny. Like not too long ago, I made an Instagram account for the Marine Review. Not because like I actually wanted to, but like I don't have an Instagram account on my own, and like whenever I go to like Instagram for like a second, it always like tells you to log in. So I was just annoyed. I was like, okay, well I'll just make an Instagram account. Oh no, I picked the wrong one again. God damn it. But like I said, just make one just to make one, and just branded the channel. But like
so all those times you said stuff.
I forgot where I was even going with it. Whatever. But yeah, that's the thing that I did recently. I'm probably not even gonna like promote or anything because I don't plan on doing anything with it. And the same thing goes with like Twitter. Or like I have the Twitter account. I'm probably never gonna use it realistically. But it's there. Yeah, maybe someday.
A part of me always knew you didn't feel the same way. God knows I pushed you a couple times, but you always said no.
By the way, I did also, so before I started streaming, I did watch part of the RHAP podcast, which was really weird. Like that, like Chantel supposedly like lives in the same building as Kevin, and like Kevin's friends or neighbors or whatever like barged into her room like what the fuck, like it was such a weird thing that happens.
Keep the walkie close by. We'll tell you as soon as we've got David. Then you can drive into the square and pick
Check my Insta. I think I'm fine. But yeah, I just get annoyed like whenever I'm like trying to look something up on Instagram with like a Survivor play or something like that, and then like it keeps on like telling me to like log into Instagram.
Stay out of sight. We'll be in touch as soon as we can.
So yeah, I just made the channel made the account just in case, but I'm realistically never going to use it.
Got cut off by something or somebody.
I love how I can't even look up my own Twitch account, or not Twitch account, Instagram account. But whatever. I love how you look up the Marine Review, my fucking speedrun account comes up.
Let's do it.
You ready?
I would like to get back to doing speedruns. I just don't have the fucking time.
Glad to hear it.
I really would like, and there's like, I'm still surprised I never got around doing Last of Us speedruns. He's like, that was something I genuinely wanted to do. Last of Us 1 speedruns, at least. Even Last of Us 2, like, Elite Percent I could definitely do. But, yeah, probably have to wait for a bit still. Post power rankings on Twitter, Kingdom Hearts speedrun, again, I can barely, I still haven't finished Kingdom Hearts 1 on my own, let alone do a fucking speedrun. Again, maybe I could do Kingdom Hearts 3, that's the easiest one of them. But, yeah, I'm definitely not. However, thought about doing a podcast? And that's kind of what I'm already doing, just not officially. I mean, essentially the channel is essentially a podcast that isn't just, that isn't like released as a podcast, but like the actual content is essentially a podcast. And in a way, like these Twitch streams are essentially like pretty similar to a podcast as well. Especially like most people don't give a shit about the actual game that I'm playing. So essentially it's just me talking about the type of topics that I would talk about on a podcast.
Can't believe this is really happening. She's gonna kill him. She can't do
yeah, I definitely could do a Kingdom Hearts 100% speedrun. That's definitely a thing in the cards. I could do Uncharted. I feel like that's one I could do. Because I've only done, what, Life is Strange, True Colors, which, like, obviously, like, I had the world record at a point. The world record the world record holder in the other Life is Strange games beat me. Like, I was looking at his times. Like, his times aren't that great. Like, I could, realistically, if I really, really wanted to study the game and everything, I could definitely beat the world record again. But the thing is, like, I don't care enough to. But yeah, so, yeah, like Life is Strange, True Colors, and Origins were two games I speedran. Yeah, again, Last of Us 1 is one I know I can speedrun. Not to, like, I'll be top of the leaderboard, but I'll definitely be, like, top half, something.
He asked us to. Lingard
Yeah, Last of Us, what else could I speedrun?
Think a happy man would want to go out that
Yeah,
way?
Uncharted games I could probably do. I could do Walking Dead Telltale. I find it, like, I did one time try to do a speedrun of Walking Dead Telltale Season 1, and I got what would have been second place from not even trying. Horizon could be one. I was watching the Forbidden West speedrun, and there's a lot of, like, technical things going on there. To where I would definitely have to take some time to learn it if I were to do it, but yeah, that would be one. Maybe a Plague Tale, I think that could be a fun one to learn. Do a Plague Tale. Obviously the other Assassin's Creed games I could do. I don't know how many, like, I don't know what I would want to do though, because a lot of them are like, kind of on the longer side of things. I mean, maybe like Brotherhood and Revelations, they're probably, on the shorter side of things for, like, what Assassin's Creed is, but like Assassin's Creed 2 would take forever.
weapons? Something like that?
Are you allowed to fight the dumb casual people in the comment section? I would prefer if you don't. But you're probably going to anyway, so. Wolf Among Us? I could speedrun Wolf Among Us.
I'll let you spare one of them. Just one.
No! Hell no! Don't!
Not after what they tried to do. You may
I don't know,
be guilty
what's God of War
of bringing
speedrunning
them
like?
into this,
I don't actually pay attention to
but
that.
they chose to go along with it.
I forgot I own Hades. I still haven't played it.
You sure about this?
Like, I completely forgot about that until I'm like looking at the shelf right now.
It's really up to Javi, isn't it? All eyes are on you. Maybe this will help you make up your mind. Boys?
Yeah. 13 Sentinel speedrun? What's a 13 Sentinel speedrun like, I wonder? I'm sure it's fucking boring, I would assume. This doesn't matter. We'll save Alva because they'll keep Trip around. When's Hitman 3? At some point. So yeah, obviously we're doing Walking Dead here. After this will be Life is Strange, right? We'll do Life is Strange 1 and then Before Storm. Actually, I forgot. Did I say the weekend after the Survivor? So I think what, the Sunday after the Survivor finale? Like I have that week off, so it's like I'm thinking of doing that like a longer daytime stream on that Sunday. So I think that's when I'll do Life is Strange 1 then, I guess. Or like I'll do like I want to do something that like I can finish the entire game over the course of a reasonably sized stream. Because I did that last time with The Last of Us. Where like I mean, for that stream went 8 hours, but I still played through the entire Last of Us and then left behind. But I think Life is Strange is kind of that length where that would be perfect.
This isn't how we do things. This is madness.
Is BBCAN10 the best season of reality television since I started the channel? Probably. Like I think it's the season that I'm the most like overall positive towards. Valhalla speedrun would be ridiculous. Valhalla speedrun's like what, 13 hours, I think? Like I think that's the world record, something like that.
How about you take David and the rest of your people and just get the hell out. Go far away from
Let's
Richmond,
see.
and then whatever you do is up
It
to you.
is. Oh no, I guess he knocked it down to 10 hours. 10 hours, 47 minutes.
We're gonna handle this.
Well, I guess it never was 13. It was 11 and a half was the first record. Still.
Don't listen to them, Javi. They're fucking butchers, all of them. Shoot that bitch. Take her.
Is there anyone from a UK show that would make a Challenge UK Dreamcast? I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know many people from the UK.
Let me out of here. I'll tear her apart.
Yeah, we'll shoot them. Yeah, fuck you. What a masterpiece. Again, this is where Telltale really got shit, though. It was like in this era. Where you had New Frontier, you had like Batman Telltale Season 1, which I do like, but still like not great. And also, like all these games that you had on the, like this new engine. Or just like modified version of their engine. Just feel like really fucking janky. Why would I prefer you don't fight with dumb, pesky casuals? Because why fight with dumb, pesky casuals? Yeah, this is where Telltale definitely overextended. Where, I mean, like, you had Walking Dead Season 1, you had Wolf Among Us, both really, really good. Then you have Walking Dead Season 2, which, again, was, like, not as good as Season 1, but still good enough. Then you had Tales from Borderlands, which is pretty good. And I think at that point they just like completely like lost what they were going for. Like they got what, Game of Thrones, they had this, they had Batman, they did Guardians of the Galaxy like a year later. Yeah, they definitely started to lose their minds, I feel like. Do I watch any content creators on YouTube or Twitch? Any other, like, in general? Yes. Any other Survivor, like, reality TV? No.
I think you're right.
I'm trying to even think, like, who have I even watched that much recently? I don't think I have actually that much recently. Outside of, like, RHAP. Because I feel like that's what I've been doing a lot, is, like, listening to podcasts and stuff, especially with Big Brother, with there being a lot of stuff with BBCAN going on.
I gotta help her. God damn it. I'll try and cover you.
In terms of Twitch, it's like I sometimes watch Anthony Caliber, who's the Last of Us speedrunner, but like haven't been as consistently recently, and really haven't been since like end of last year. Lasers, or it's Lazboy, is a channel I follow. But I kind of stopped watching his YouTube stuff at this point, so I do watch some of his live streams. Again, Puya and Taron Armstrong, like them playing Goose Goose Duck, I do watch that quite a bit. That's kind of usually what like I try to go to sleep to, is like I never am able to watch it live, but I end up watching Terran's first, and then like if I finish Terran's by the time the next week, then I start watching Puya's perspective of the same game. And that's what I usually try to go to sleep to. So that's something. Do I have faith in Wolf Among Us 2? Kind of. Like I think like the pieces are there for it to be good. Obviously you never really know, and really I think it fundamentally comes down to the storytelling, where like realistically it's like, how much game is there really to have? I mean, like it's a Telltale game. And like from what it sounds like, it seems like they're going to a more traditional Telltale game with Wolf Among Us 2. Like they're not going to go into what they did with like Walking Dead Final Season, where they try to add more gameplay bits to it. It seems like they're just genuinely doing another like straight up Telltale game. So at that point, it's all about narrative. Like considering how strong the first one was, it's like I would hope the second one can match that, but again, you really never know. I'll probably buy it at launch, I think. We'll see. Yeah, by the way, I didn't finish that thought of like games we're going to be playing. So yeah, obviously I'm playing Life is Strange 1 and 2. Or Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm, because I'm doing a Before the Storm retrospective. Then we're going to play Wolf Among Us, because I'm doing a Wolf Among Us retrospective at some point. And then... so fucking dumb. But then after that, we're a bit more free, right? I don't think there's anything I need to play for a bit. So at that point, that might be Hitman 3. I did want to do a Cyberpunk, like play the PS5 version of Cyberpunk. I might do my Don't Nod ranking. I'm debating on whether or not to do that. I did install Vampire and Twin Mirror again. Maybe we'll play Twin Mirror on stream, which I'm sure everyone would be so excited for. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Hitman 3 is probably, like, I would say, I don't know, how long is this going to take? Like, we're probably, like 3 more streams worth of Walking Dead Telltale? Then, let's just say we do the Life is Strange one for that, like, for the daytime stream. So then Life is Strange Before the Storm, that's probably like 2 streams worth. Wolf Among Us, probably like 2 streams worth, maybe. So that's like a month's worth of streams there. So I mean, like, it might not be that far away. Yeah, it might only be like like a month and a half or so until I get around to playing Hitman 3. We'll see. Hopefully, I could say that, and then obviously, like, it just turns out to never happen. But I do intend on, like, I do want to play Hitman 3 again. So hopefully, I can get around to it. But yeah, again, I think we'll end here. It's already almost 2:30. We went 2.5 hours here. Didn't really even want to go that long. But yeah, again, so happy with what happened with BBCAN10. Really can't believe we got a season that good. So yeah, obviously a review will be out on Saturday. Player ranking will be out on Wednesday. Obviously I'll stream on Sunday, which will be interesting because, yeah, it's going to be a busy period for me. And also Sunday's Mother's Day too. So that's a thing too. There's a lot going on. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, really just can't wait until like Survivor to end. Because at that point, at least I'll have like actually, will I have more? Well, I mean, I will have free time in the sense that I have the week off after that. But I mean, like, will I actually have free time? Considering that like that's actually like when I want to do a lot of videos. But either way, whatever. All Stars 3. Oh yeah, for fucking All Stars 3. I forgot fucking BBAU also. Actually, fuck, am I even gonna be able to watch BBAU the day of? I might have to even wait to watch BBAU until later. Maybe that's what I'll do anyway. Like, maybe I'll just wait until like watch episodes 1 and 2 back to back or something. Because I'm gonna be busy most of Monday. But then again, also I work Tuesday, so it's like I don't even know if I have enough time to watch. But whatever. Either way, I'll figure it out. Whatever, it's fine. Whatever. There's too much shit going on, but it'll work itself out, I'm sure. So yeah, thank you everyone's still here. Thank you everyone showed up. Again, mostly impromptu stream. Yeah, I mean, like, surprised this many people showed up considering how late I started the stream. I didn't start until midnight, so that's a thing. But yeah, see you guys on Sunday. Expect the BB Can review, and yeah, for now, thank you for watching.